Okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
Please, Jimmy, stop! The cow noises are hurting me.
Cow noises.
I thought he said moo. So.
No, I said thank you.
Oh, my bad. I take that back. No
He's
cow.
voting a Dark Souls with you.
Oh yeah.
Alright, well, we're all good then. Might as well start up right now. There's that. That's working.
Yeah.
Welcome back to another game of Skyfall 5e, everybody. How was the
Hey,
week?
thanks, Lucian. That means a lot.
Yeah?
Pretty great.
Yeah, I had a
Let's
good
all
time.
work together in jolly cooperation this week.
The lead singer of 30 Seconds to Mars appreciated my beard, so...
That's a mouthful. I don't really know what that means, but...
It's a band. Like,
You don't know who 30 Seconds to Mars is?
No?
No, not everyone knows who they are, Jimmy.
He got a compliment from a celebrity. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
Oh my
He's
god.
not
Like
popular.
Johnny Depp?
He plays the
Yeah,
Joker.
like Johnny Depp.
He plays
He
the
plays-
Joker.
Didn't that guy die?
Oh no, the other, the new
not
Joker.
Heath Ledger, the shitty,
I
Not the good Joker.
the shitty
The
Joker
shitty.
from the
Young
Suicide
Joker.
Squad.
Oh, okay, okay.
Heath
But apparently
Ledger's
he
ghost
did well.
Came to him in the
He
night.
just wasn't in the movie enough, right? I think.
No, I hated him.
You hated him?
Yeah, I didn't like his portrayal. Anyway,
Oh,
Sure
the
you
week was fine.
Well, you know, Will is the end-all be-all of Joker portrayals, so...
What?
like you're the
Like,
authority on
you
the
have the
subject.
final... Yeah, you have the final say on who does well and who sucks the Joker
You're damn
portrayal.
right I do.
So, it's good to know that you guys had a interesting week. Might as well pick up where you guys left off with a whole bunch of death on the last session.
Really dead.
A strange creature was summoned into existence, and just outside of Black River's camp, you fought with some sort of entity that took the lives of 2 of your party members, and since then you've been scrambling to try and get things together. Now, gathering up the 2 corpses, you went around looking for help, and in the form of some of the monks nearby, you managed to find some. One of them has agreed to escort you through the mountains over towards the city of Ko, which is a few days away from here, and is the closest settlement. As for the rest of you who are currently down, you guys know how things work. You might be dead for a bit, so sit tight, and we'll get you in when we get you in. As for the rest of you, you're traveling through the mountains, and you have with you one of the monks who seems to be here, ending his pilgrimage and taking you back. What do you guys want to do?
Before we
Exactly
begin,
what the jacked monk says.
I do have one question.
Sure.
Zenkus took a healing potion of water breathing that made gills grow on his neck.
Hmm.
Did that wear off, or is that a permanent effect?
Oh, it's worn off.
That would be quite.
I wrote it in the notes as we were discussing things after you left last time. Like,
Yeah.
is he a fish man now?
It lasts for about an hour.
Okay. Yeah, we are probably just doing our best to follow the monk's instructions and keeping our companions with us through the entire thing.
Okay.
Wait, I did what?
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. You're not a fish boy. We did not.
Yeah, but I actually have something related to that.
You are not permanent fish boy.
You are not Aquaman.
You are normal currently.
But what's the question, or what do you have that's related?
His lifelong dream was to become a fish boy. He was going to leave the campaign if it ever happened.
There.
What?
What?
I posted it in Discord.
Oh.
Oh, I see.
I actually have something related to that.
Oh, you mean you had a whole comic prep for this?
Oh, I saw it like 2 months ago and I found it.
Jesus goddamn small.
He knew this was gonna happen. It was
Yeah, yeah.
prepared.
Okay, so you guys go traveling through the mountains here, and over the course of 2 days, eventually pull into the city of Ko.
Oh. You followed the instructions well.
Am I allowed to roll my dice to see if I get 20s?
Sure. Anyone who's injured can go ahead and roll.
Suggest you do.
One fail.
It was kind of close.
Nope.
Nope.
Now, after the 2 days, you eventually pull into the city. And the city of Ko is a little bit different than anything you guys might have seen before. It's a large circular plaza that has pockets in the side of the mountain coming up from all the sort of enclosed mountainous region that forms like a semicircle around this little plaza. And it's very reminiscent of the mountain ranges that you guys had traveled through before, where little pockets of light could be seen. Instead of caves, however, dotting the hillside, you see what looks like temples, and there are winding staircases that go like vertically up the sides of the slopes and in between each other and things like that, all the way up. The circular portion that forms the center of the plaza is made of some sort of like reddish stone that looks like it's been painted red. And the people that wander around are all clearly involved in some way with the monks' practices. The robes may differ, and you see people who look like they might not necessarily be living here, but everybody has some kind of like a purpose or a theme that seems to fit with the area. You guys definitely stick out. And when you come up to here, Master Rom turns towards you guys and simply just points out one of the temples and then turns and leaves, walking back down the road.
Thank you,
What was his name? Master what?
Master Rom.
Yeah, R-O-M.
Was it a pretty quiet journey? He didn't have much to say. He just led us here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I'm not one to change the ways of Master Rom. Thank him, and we gotta get to that temple.
Now, with the two bodies in tow, you guys go off towards this temple, which has been pointed out to you. It's got a set of staircases that go up towards its main area, and a lot of them look damaged and broken. There's one that seems to still be in good shape, but a lot of this place looks kind of like it's falling apart. And there's parts of a town that you would hope to see that you don't see here. There's nothing in terms of like maybe like a market district. There's no stores, there's no roads really. It's just like a bunch of temples clustered together, and it feels kind of desolate in a way. Now, when you guys travel up the steps here, people can see what it is that's going on with your two corpses that are being carried, and they turn over and give you kind of like sympathetic, recognizable looks, but they don't really interfere in any way and just kind of let you go about your business. And you guys eventually make it up towards the temple. When you get up there, you can see that the hall is arranged very much like what you would expect from like a cathedral or other temples throughout the land, where there's different robed figures wandering here and there. And the one near the door, immediately seeing you guys step in, walks over to you all. He looks kind of like calm and serene, and gives you guys a bow, and then looks at the bodies that you have there and says, how can I help you?
Greetings, ascetic. We need our friends resurrected.
He looks at the two and then turns back to you and says, and how long have they been dead for?
A few days now. It hasn't been 10 days yet.
This is the third day.
He gives you a nod and leads you guys towards the back of the room. And while you're traveling there, you can see classes with people who are sitting cross-legged, turning towards idols that are beset within the wall, and others that look like they're practicing martial arts in groups. You eventually get towards the back end, where what looks to be a group of like two older masters who are clearly recognizable by their wrinkled appearance and sort of like long and tattered facial hair. And they turn over and see the two approaching. And this man goes up and speaks with them. And then one of them approaches you guys. And when he steps up, he immediately tells you guys, Not much time. You should bring them around to the back here, and we'll see what it is that we can do for them.
Of course. And I will try to be as gentle as possible while bringing them over to where they are. They have been indicated to be brought.
You guys are led around a hallway into some kind of room that has a number of like stone slabs that have mattresses and beds laying on them. And he points out two of the empty ones. You can see other people in here who look like they might be either injured or perhaps not, just resting. But when you guys put the bodies there, somebody starts to comb over them and examine the bodies. And as this like sort of cloud of assistants descend on the two corpses that you've brought, the master turns over towards you guys and he says, I've been told they've been gone for 3 days. This will be rather expensive.
Of course.
We'll pay what we can. These are very important companions.
I think,
Travel
give us a price, we could scrounge something up.
He nods to you and turns back. Now, at this point, as he goes over to examine the bodies, you see him casting a spell, waving his hand above the like Trent's chest there for a second. You see what looks like filaments of maybe smoke or some sort of shimmering light that appears around his fingertips there, and his eyes seem to glow for a moment, and the ritual begins. Elsewhere, in the main room, we're going to cut over to your new character, actually there, Tessa, or Irila, is it?
Oops,
Illyria?
sorry. Illyria.
Illyria, there we go. There's a lot of eyes.
Yeah. No, there's elves.
Well, L's and I's together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, Illyria, you've been touched by magic since you were very young, and you have the abilities of a sorcerer that have kind of blossomed over time as you've gotten older. And as you got older and the realities of life dawned on you, the elders in your family really pressed the issue that you would one day have to take over the family business and eventually become a jeweler, essentially. Not really a bad profession or anything like that. In fact, your family's quite wealthy, but you wanted to kind of escape that life in a way and do some adventuring or get to live outside of town. Maybe you don't want that job at the end of the day. Who knows what the exact motivations might be, but you left kind of deeming that, at least right now, that's not the future that you want for yourself. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, where did you grow up? Did you have a city in mind?
Oh, damn. Oops, I'm so sorry. That's the last thing that slipped my mind.
No, it's all good.
Soulsland.
Soulsland. Okay.
Thanks.
So, you decided to leave Soulsland, and you were actually headed for the city of the dwarves, which is kind of a bit of a novelty here in the land of Skyfall, where most people are human. You thought it would be interesting to start an adventure there and go and see some sort of different culture, but along the way, you actually got rather lost. And getting separated from your caravan, you eventually traveled for a few days through the wilderness, eventually ending up in the city of Ko. When you got there, you found that the monks didn't really have much in terms of outside connections. There's no courier that goes up here, as the mountain pass is impossible to travel by horse. And as far as like teleports or anything else, there doesn't really seem to be anything available. So you've been kind of biding your time. You've maybe been here for a day or two trying to decide what you're going to do next. You've been thinking about maybe hiring a guide to take you through the mountains or down the pass and off to Everwatch. You have some money on your person, but maybe not enough to get all of that done. And in this time, you've been stuck in the strangest town imaginable. Ko doesn't seem to have any inns or taverns. In fact, there doesn't even seem to be places that serve food. So you've found a temple nearby, which is all that this city really seems to consist of. And they've been giving you meager rations, like, bits of bread or maybe like a single bowl of rice during the day, which seems to be what people here just persist on. And you're there in one of the main halls, kind of seated there. Everybody else is rather strange and sort of, different from you. When you actually see a familiar face, at some point, at the height of the morning, when everybody has already gotten up and is starting their routines, you're in the main hall and you see what looks like a group of adventurers that pass in towards the temple. And when they come in, they clearly stick out from everybody else, but what's really noticeable is that they have with them 2 bodies that they're carrying. And you recognize the face on one of them as being a friend of yours. What would
So they're
you...
in the same main room? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's all good. So you'd be in this main room, right, when they come in, and they speak with somebody near the main door, and then with one of the elders who you've spoken to before in order to get, your spot here and to pick up a free meal and everything. And as they were turning the corner and heading off down a hallway, you recognized that one of the dead people with them was indeed an old friend of yours. What would you want to do?
Can I try to sneak follow them without getting myself noticed?
Sure. Make a stealth roll.
Yes. This ought to be fucking good. That's
Actually,
an 11.
An 11. Okay.
What is that? What was that, Janksy?
It's the classic 9:15.
9:15.
You go wandering down, and you actually manage to get in towards the hallway without anybody noticing. Or at least so you'd hope. The masters don't seem to miss much, but as you pass by different disciples and everything, you eventually get into the little hall and start to tread down. And you can hear some of the conversation around the corner in a room that you know is used as like a dormitory. You can hear the elder speaking with them, and he mentions that, this is going to be very expensive. And they say, people are very important, we'll pay whatever we can, kind of thing. And you're listening to this from around the corner.
But I see them, right?
Yeah, if you poke your head around the corner, you can see them in there.
Well, since I recognize an old friend, I would like to just beeline it towards him and just stare him in the face and make sure it's him.
So you guys are gathered around here. The master has his hand over Trent, and Tessa's nearby in another one of the beds. And you guys are kind of watching him do his work, maybe chatting to yourselves. When you see somebody who clearly doesn't have the same robes as everybody else, what would you be wearing, Illyria?
Probably. I guess what's the most typical wealth brat kid outfit? Just really nice clothes, like prep school clothes.
Sure.
Then a robe over that.
Okay. So, they're not the flashiest thing, but clearly clothing that's befitting for a noble. You see a girl who's, in her mid-20s, I assume?
Yeah.
Come
Early
over
mid-20s.
towards the table and looks at Trent.
I step in front of her, but I turn. Oh, okay. I don't step in front of her. I kind of whisper towards her. Is she one of your healers?
An assistant walking by looks over and then shakes his head and he says, "No, she's just staying here. Traveler off the roads a few days ago." And then he
I can
walks
hear
away.
you.
I step in between Trent and whatever the healer's doing to him.
Sure.
Miss, this is no spectacle. You should not be here.
I know him.
I turn and look towards Trent. You mean
The dead one.
Trent?
Is that
How
what
do
he
you know
goes by
Trent?
now?
Oh?
Well, I know his first name's Trent. I know he's Trent. I swear I know him. I just don't know his last name. I know his last name,
I don't
Look, we
think
don't
this
know
is
his last
the-
name. Do you understand?
I don't think this is the moment we should be discussing this. Allow the healer to concentrate. Paladin Merton, could you speak with her outside of this
Why
room?
don't I take her?
Take me where? I'm not going with you. What are you? Who are you?
We can discuss this in a room that won't distract the healers.
Zankias, keep watch over Trent.
Come.
I will return. Sure, I'll step out with Paladin Merton and half nudge her out of the room away from the Trent.
Sure. The healer seems to finish up with Trent and walks over and does the same procedure with Tessa as you guys go and shuffle this strange girl off into the hallway nearby to have a more private conversation.
So, what are you doing?
What are you doing here?
You may want to elaborate on
Adventuring.
your relationship with Trent. Are you pursuing him?
Pursuing?
Well, no
I mean,
offense to you, but this is a rather large world. It is somewhat of a coincidence that you just happen to be here.
How's it a coincidence? I know him. I swear I know him.
You've given us no information.
How exactly do you know him?
We're really good friends from Solsland.
Well, he's dead, and you don't seem very upset, so that doesn't make sense.
Oh,
I thought that was a joke. Is he really?
He's also not
Trent-
very well liked in Soulsland. From what I
Trent's played jokes on
understand.
me all the time. I wouldn't really know.
Little lady, are you here all alone?
Do you happen to have someone with you? A older man, possibly?
No. What? Older man? No. You act like I've been sold off to slavery to some creepy old dude.
No, just Soulsland happens to have quite a few wizards. You wouldn't happen to be a wizard yourself.
No. I would like to look down at the ground.
okay.
Not sure if people are since I don't know them, I'm not sure if they're too keen on people with magic, right? So.
She looks at the ground and I shoot. Zakul will look like.
Yeah, I'm giving him the look too. He's definitely been being chased around by something. We've been attacked. This could very well be making sure he stays dead.
Now, meanwhile, in the other room, the healer steps over towards the group, or what remains of it. Zenkas, this elder steps up to you, and he looks to you and says, I have good news and I have bad news.
What's the bad news?
The bad news is, well, this one has moved on already. And he points over towards Tessa on the bed there, and he turns back and he says, her soul has found its way to some other plane. I cannot bring her back.
Well, that's not good.
If you're lucky, it's a god of her choosing that's decided to take her soul. If you're unlucky, it could be far worse, but it's beyond my powers.
We
I
hear
just-
this from the hallway, or is this too far away?
No, I'd say you guys are probably still in conversation there.
Talking pretty soft.
I'd like to note at this point I probably stopped listening to the two of them and zoned out really hard.
Sure.
Really hard.
Sounds like someone else.
Mm-hmm.
I just look and it's like she will be missed.
There is good news, however. This one can be saved. And he points over at Trent's body. And after giving him a look, he looks back at you and he says, but bringing him back will be complicated.
How complicated?
It seems that his soul has been trapped on the way to Limbo and is just beyond the veil. It won't actually be terribly difficult to bring him back. It shouldn't even cost as much gold as I had anticipated, but he seems to be stuck there for whatever reason.
How odd. Why? How much wood do you think it would cost?
I can perform the procedure for only 300 gold, but the complication is that while he's stuck there, the ritual will not finish. He leaves you there for a moment in your silence and stares back at Trent like it's a complicated puzzle that he's staring at. And meanwhile, in the hallway, you guys note that this girl has gone rather silent and stares at her shoes. But the silence deepens into something a bit more. Merton and Zakul, can you please roll insight?
She's about to like blow us up.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
16.
16.
That is 9.
You're not sure if she's maybe hiding some ulterior motives, Zakul. If this could be an agent of whatever it was that did you guys in a few days ago. However, Merton, looking at her, you can tell that she's actually just spaced out. And whoever it is that you're speaking to here seems to have just kind of drifted off into some other train of thought. You might be speaking with somebody who's a bit airheaded.
I'll try to grab her hand to bring her back to reality and be like, "Young lady, are you okay?"
Whoa.
Seem to have spaced out.
You don't just snap people out of that, man.
While we were
Merton,
in the
I've
middle of
seen.
it.
What if I was meditating?
Well, you don't look like one of the monks here, but if you were, I
I have
apologize.
to?
Young miss.
Would you wear that? I'm gonna point just a monk anywhere.
Have you taken one of the tonics that are offered in town? One of the seedier individuals.
No, I definitely didn't drink it. Nope.
No opiates of any kind.
Nope.
Well, I can't tell if you're harmless, but
It's not
Please
like that.
excuse
It's
us.
not like that's so cool. So you know Trent.
Yes.
How long?
Why did you guys think I was with an older man? Do I look like that kind of person?
Well,
Don't
it's just
answer
odd.
that.
Just odd to travel alone, as I think is all Zakul
I mean-
here meant.
I got lost. I was with a caravan. I just got lost. I have like the worst sense of direction.
It's impressive that you survived all alone.
you made it to the top of a mountain, basically.
Yeah, I just kind of kept walking.
You didn't encounter any dangers on the road, all alone.
No.
The
No, I guess I didn't.
The story is strange, but the more that you guys watch this, Zakul, with your horrible insight, you'll have none of this. But Merton, you're pretty sure she's not lying.
Zakul, why not? I think she's safe. Why don't you just go pay for Trent, keep watch, and I'll figure her story out.
Hey.
Excuse me, miss. I will have to go attend with my friend. We'll speak again soon.
Okay.
So, all the way from Solsland.
Mhm.
Forgive me, I'm Merton, by the way.
Oh, hi.
Yes, we've known Trent for a little while now, and he is dead. oh,
Like really dead? Or like I fell asleep because I was too drunk, kind of dead.
you do know him. That's that's funny. Really dead. Yes, we ran into some trouble on the road. That's why we're here. We're trying to bring him back.
So what about the girl?
She's
girlfriend?
also dead. To Trent's dismay, I think not.
Like, really dead?
Yes, really dead.
It's Trent's one
Is this your
regret.
first time out of Souls?
No. Yeah. Yeah.
Seems like it.
Like, I went outside the gate before, I swear. I just went in after it. So, technically, no.
Why did you leave?
Hmm.
You were with a caravan, but why?
Oh, because, like, so listen. Like, this is gonna blow your mind. I'm rich. My family is. I know. I look
Okay.
terrible. I don't even have my clothes. I can't fucking stop.
Money can only get you so far.
It's
Right,
the best
so,
opener.
like-
I'm rich.
But like, you know how you like, I don't know if you have parents, and I'm sorry if you don't know, you know. I am, or I'm not sorry, I don't know, whatever you want. So my parents are jewelers, like really shiny stuff. I don't want to be a jeweler. You know?
I can respect that.
Yeah. So I ran away, technically. They know where I am. But I ran away.
Hmm.
Well, they're supposed to know where I am. I told them where I was going, but I got lost.
So they have no idea.
Probably not.
Well, you
But I
sound a
didn't
little
die.
bit like Trent, to be honest. Now, I'm not sure if you want to get caught up in everything going on here.
Oh yeah, Trent and I go way back, like mischief way back,
Well,
like Greece.
Greece. Oh, is that why? Are you the one who made?
No,
So we pan over towards the other room. And so cool as you return, you see Zenkas and the Elder just kind of standing there staring at Trent in silence. There's people who are crowded around the two bodies. They have like different towels and cloths that they're placing over the bodies and everything. And you see somebody who's bringing like bowls of herbs over and candles that are burning and incense sticks and all that. When you approach, the Elder turns and gives you a look and kind of like just, recognizing that you're there.
What is their condition? Enlightened one.
Unfortunately, this one's soul has already moved on. The other, however, he may be saved. There's a mild complication, however. The ritual that I can use to bring him back will be easier and more affordable since he's closer to the veil, but something has trapped him in place, and I can't complete it until he's dislodged or free from whatever is shackling him.
By the divines, if... Well, is there a way to aid him out of the veil? Some sort of ritual?
There is. For a cost, I know others who live in Ko that can send you to this portion of the veil. You could see about investigating, but it's not something that I would undertake.
Please, make the arrangements for us. Would appreciate it.
Is this a friend of yours or more of a hired help?
This... I suppose we could call him friend.
If you are not well familiar with this soul, you will not be able to find him in the veil. Only those who know him well will be able to help in any way.
Turn to Zenkus and look at him. You are his... he is your direct charge. I assume your relationship would tie you two together, and Paladin Merton will call him more friend than I would.
The Elder looks over at you as well, Zenkes, and then back to you, Zakul, before giving a nod, and he turns to leave before simply saying, "I'll make the preparations then."
Shall we wait here? ascetic.
He nods. And with that, travels out. You guys...
Hold on. And you couldn't save the other one.
He shakes his head and he says, "She's moved on already. There's no way to bring her back."
Damn, I like that one too.
There's no way to tell exactly where she's gone, but it's likely some god has already pulled her soul to another realm.
Do you handle funeral rites inside in this temple?
He nods to you.
Well, please make arrangements for that as well. And I will discuss the pricing for that after. And I walk over towards Tessa's table.
Sure. You can see that there are other monks around there, men and women that are basically preparing the body. And though her clothes have been left where they are, a lot of her items have kind of been set on the table nearby. And I'd like to ask, Kay, do you have Tessa's sheet?
I do in a minute when I open it.
Sure. If you guys want to recover anything from her inventory, now's actually the time to do it.
Right. The book was something she wanted us to keep. In
Mm.
case we could pass it off or something. Or
History.
at the very least, keep it to Trent. And I think it was just her money and stuff that we were collecting and leaving everything else.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of cool stuff is in
I
there.
would have needed to know what she had.
Yeah, I
Okay,
don't know. if
I'll
she
read
had
it off.
anything
Are you ready? I
Yes.
have 53 gold pieces.
Nice.
for-
25
I'll move
silver.
that right now.
Oh, let me. Do I stop? Do I go?
Keep going. I'm just
Oh, okay.
moving stuff over to my sheet.
25 silver and 8 copper. I have a flute. I have a small piece of jewelry from my homeland, which would be blue. I have the basics like bedroll, backpack, water skin. A bag of ball bearings that are refilled, so it's 1,000 in there. 50 feet of hempen rope. 8 leftover rations. 9 torches, and my book. And a holy symbol.
So we'll bury her with her clothes and holy symbol.
Yep.
And what was the weapon you had?
Oh yeah, I have a weapon. I have a rapier.
Okay.
So you can go ahead and take that, and then I have a short bow. And then I also have hide armor. Anyway, if that's weird.
Oh, whatever you want to carry is cool. Feel free.
Yeah, she didn't have any magic items or anything, so I moved all that over except for, I guess, her flute and holy symbol.
Hmm.
What was that thing from her hometown for Baloo?
Oh, it was a piece of jewelry.
A necklace.
We'll bury that with her
It's-
as well.
It's probably shaped like a twig or maybe like a bundle of leaves or something.
We'll keep her personal effects on her.
Okay. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
take what you will. Probably the most notable thing is that book that she's always had with her, that enchanted book, and
And 10 arrows. I want this. Sorry.
ammunition might be useful. And leave the rest there. Now, off in the hallway, grease is happening. What are you guys up to? The elder walks out. He, kind of looks at you guys and gives you guys a nod and proceeds off down the hall, unless you want to interrupt him.
Nope.
I just called him bye.
Young lady, I think you left out your name.
Oh.
Unless you...
Also forgot that.
Illyria.
Unless... Oh, Illyria. Well, Illyria, you seem to be alone.
Yeah.
That's correct?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. I fell
Trent-
asleep on a tree and I woke up and they were gone.
Well, Trent being the only familiar face you've seen, I'm assuming you're going to ask to travel with us. Is that a good
Oh, I can?
assumption?
I was just gonna walk out the door and not come back. This place is so weird.
Well, seeing a, young lady in need such as yourself, I wouldn't be allowed to just watch you go alone. It's
What are you,
dangerous
some
out
kind
there.
of weird white
I,
knight?
I love how like it's Merton's trying to be nice, but it's like the creepiest thing. Like it just comes off so bad.
I'll point to whatever fake holy symbol is on like my armor or whatever.
There's a piece of
Oh!
cardboard.
Does he tell you to pick up single women walking by themselves?
No, it's just a simple common courtesy.
Oh!
But I'll give her a very
It's weird.
give her a very serious look and be like, "But if you choose to travel with us, we must know we are being
Wouldn't that
hunted
be up to, like,
by
everyone?
quite serious evil."
Evil. That sounds like adventure. Like
And
they're
I'm worried
interchangeable.
because you seem quite excitable, and someone like that is easily tracked. Are you catching my drift?
I'm sorry, I zoned out. What? What? I
Wah,
just heard
wah.
evil.
Evil is what killed your friend in there,
Yeah, but there's like evil in everything.
but we are being hunted by this evil.
But yeah, because there's like evil in everything.
I don't think you totally grasp the situation.
What am I not getting?
Making this real hard for me, Kay.
No, I'm so sorry.
You send me inside, okay?
Now,
Yeah, like, I'll
meanwhile,
handle it.
I'm so sorry.
in the other room, Zakul and Zenkas, you guys are standing there next to the two bodies and looking over. Well, at least Zakul, you're looking over those things that were left there. Are you guys talking at all or doing anything?
Well, we'll have to do whatever ritual or rite the other ascetic has planned for us here. And there's also a weird female that seems to recognize Trent.
So rude.
Zankas, any thoughts on what we may want to do with her?
Well,
Man, that's you.
yeah, no, I was eating. Well, the elder did say that we might need someone that knows his soul well. And if she said she recognized the body,
Well, that could mean a lot of things. For all we know, she could very well be one of those that put him in such a predicament itself. Hopefully Paladin Merton has straightened it out with them, or with her. If she seems harmless, maybe she could help us. Table talk. We are establishing that she's like friends with them, like back in the good old school days, right?
She seems to be of similar age, yeah.
I guess we're waiting here, but if Paladin Merton doesn't come back, we'll peek outside.
I'm so sorry, Will.
Sure.
I leave the choice to you, Illyria. You can go alone, or you can stay with us and play by our rules, which is
Well, what rules do you have? I suck at rules.
getting to understand that, and that will be a problem.
Well, I mean, if they're easy rules, we could do it.
I would say they're easy.
Well, you don't seem like an easy person, so whatever's easy to do must be like super hard for everyone else.
She just called you easy. Oh wait,
Just the,
the opposite.
the opposite.
The opposite.
Wait, did you just admit that you're easy then? What's going on?
Please, no! Off this conversation. Can I go see Trent first before I decide?
Well, I need to make sure you aren't
I'm
sent
not
by.
gonna kill him! Do you
I
want my stuff? Here! I'm
I was
gonna
gonna
hand him
ask if I could
I'm
look
gonna
at it. Actually,
my
yes.
staff and hand him, what is it? My light crossbow. Here! Gosh.
Well, I need to see what's in your bag as well.
Oh, here! I'm just gonna drop it on the floor and walk in.
Okay, wait. The simple rule is we're being hunted by a great evil.
I
And if
heard
you-
that.
Yes, so if you cannot evade this evil, you would be a hindrance to us.
What do you mean evade? Like, can I fight?
Like, hide and stay quiet.
I can stay quiet. I can so stay quiet. I'll stay quiet right now.
I'll hold you to that.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah.
Show me you can stay quiet.
Okay, but okay. I'll start it now.
Good. And I'll walk to Trent.
Okay. You head into the room. There are a bunch of different monks who are wandering around, and your friends are standing next to the two bodies. You can move around as you please. The room's been drawn in and everything.
So as they return, I'll look over towards Paladin Merton, give Illyria like a stare for a moment.
This
She
is
moves-
Illyria. She knows Trent. She's promised to remain behaved, and we will help her. I'll just give like a wide-eyed nod to them both, like accept it and let's move on.
I won't say a single thing. Like, I'm just looking at everyone.
Sure.
You
The
are
group here is a
Mr.
strange and motley crew, composed of a dragonborn as well as a short gnome. The two on the table seem to both be human, however.
Oh, half elf. Or Tessa's half elf.
Sorry, half elf, my bad.
I would like to just
Unfortunately.
quietly walk and stare at Trent, please.
Sure. As you look over him, that's definitely him. You've partied multiple times with this guy. He was kind of the life of the party, actually, back at Soulsland, until you heard rumors that something had happened with his class. Like he had done something big, which had earned him a fair amount of street cred amongst his fellow students, but the authorities were apparently after him. And, well, here he is.
Ah. I guess tabletop. Would I know Mr. Chow was after him?
Oh. How about you go ahead and roll? Do you have history?
No.
Straight intelligence. We'll see what you get.
Cool.
Wait,
So
are
that-
you not noble background?
No, it's I took it everyone. I wasn't thinking.
She's an
Ooh, that's a-
investigator.
17 intelligence, or yeah, 17 intelligence.
17. I would say that you know that there's a teacher after him, and you heard a couple of names, so you're not entirely sure, but somebody from the university is actually looking for Trent, it seems. And you would remember that from, well, I think Trent, you probably skipped town maybe like a year back or something like that.
Oh, he did something really stupid, didn't he?
Something like that.
He's done many things stupid.
Well,
Yeah, that sounds like Trent.
that is true, but so you knew him from school.
Yeah. Solzin. School name. That I forgot. Conveniently. But yeah, I know Trent from that wizardy place. My family lives there.
Let's see. She's mostly harmless, Paladin Merton.
Yeah, he has all of my stuff.
Uh,
Except my clothes.
I would say so.
Oh, right. And I'm gonna immediately shut up.
She can at least be reasonable, which is good.
Well, if you went to the same school as him, then you must have magical abilities.
Can I stare at Merton like, am I allowed to talk?
I'll give you a smile and a nod.
Yes. No. Well, my family is, so
Yes.
yes.
I'm not sure if Paladin Merton went over this with you, but just the fact that you're around us will put you in danger.
Oh
We're
yeah,
able to
that's
protect
I
totally.
us.
said, I'll cut in and say, I told her about the great evil hunting us.
Right, and evil. I heard adventure.
If you're foolhardy jumping into this, you may end up like my friend here. And I kind of indicate towards Tessa next to me.
Oh shit, she's really dead.
Unfortunately, the healer says she's She's
Wait,
already
like none
gone.
of you guys died? She's so pretty. How come she was the one who died?
I don't respond to this, and that well, her soul has already passed on. We believe.
Well, yeah, because she's like
not
dead.
gonna
Look at
make
her.
it.
She's like a paperweight now. That's all she's good for.
You're not being very sensitive, Valeria.
sorry. I'm really not used to like dead thing. People.
On the other hand, Trent's soul appears to be on the other side of the veil, close by but entrapped.
You guys
And
like dangle a naked girl in front of him or something? Maybe that will come and bring him back.
Perhaps you would like to take your clothes off and stop
No.
interrupting.
Sorry.
One of the monks leaves the room.
Jesus Christ. Only one.
By the
out
way,
of four.
table talk perfectly fine. I'm just being like trying to see quick. Anyways,
Daddy's a cool, don't take no sass.
and I'm just turning and like, well, the ascetic that left, he will make some arrangements with one of the other monks and raising some sort of rite or ritual to free him from the veil, and then we could resurrect him. Tessa, on the other hand, will have to make funeral rite arrangements here in this temple.
Aww. Well, to show I'm not a bad person. I mean, like, I could pay for a funeral. Would that be weird?
I
What
would-
kind of luck?
Or like, pay for some of it if it's too much, because, mom and dad cut me off. There's
The greatest tragedy.
If you desire to help, that is your choice.
Cool. So, what's wrong with Trent? Why can't you bring him back?
Well, that is what
Coming
we're trying
back
to
from the
find
dead
out.
is not the easiest thing.
I mean, perhaps
Oh, so do you need something?
Perhaps you have heard of any something along these lines where someone is trapped on
Oh,
the edge of the veil or veil.
sure. I
Veil. I meant to
Yes.
say. At the baby land.
Trapped at the edge of the field.
Table
Most
talk. What is
delicious
Trent's
place.
halfling best friend's name again? Just
He doesn't have a name yet.
you gotta give him a name really quick.
I gotta give him a name.
Quick.
Okay, give me like 10 seconds.
You got one.
Jennifer.
Jennifer.
It's a man named Jennifer. Do it.
Yep, I like it.
Jennifer.
Oh,
okay.
so you guys like? So like, have you guys each tried talking to him?
Talking to him.
I mean, like dead him, not alive him, because
I'm not sure if
That's how it
talking
works.
brings back
oh,
people who died.
It
Well-
seems like the head monk knows what he's doing and is preparing it, so
so what does he
we just
need?
have to ready ourselves.
Oh,
We'll be told when he comes back, right?
I mean, I guess like nobody knows him better than Jennifer.
Jennifer.
What
Yeah,
lass
his-
is Jennifer?
Best friend, about this big. I'm gonna put my hand out to like halfling height. This big, a little loud, drunk all the time.
I see. Well, she.
Oh no,
she's
it's a
not
boy.
someone we've met. A boy named Jennifer.
Yeah.
The head monk returns, walking around the corner. And as it comes back, it's clear that he's not alone. He has with him a small crew of about 6 people. And they seem to wear robes indicating that they're from different temples. You guys have seen them kind of cluster outside around the different openings. He's clearly brought some people from outside of this temple, and they crowd around. And the elder turns over and faces the group and says, "Well, I've made preparations. The funeral can take place whenever you wish. But for this one, well, you can travel at any time that you wish."
The sooner the
where?
better with these type of things, right?
He nods. There's no telling what you'll find. The space between the veil and limbo is a thin plane, and is not very well known.
And pray tell, how do we travel to this place and save our companion?
He motions over towards the only monk who seems to be wearing blue robes. And you see that he looks like incredibly young compared to the rest. Like a child prodigy maybe. Like at the age of 12, his head's been completely shaved off and everything, but he looks like just as serious and sort of serene as the rest of them. And, you know, he looks over when he's pointed out from the group. And the elder continues and says, he can open a portal to the Vale. And if you truly know Trent well, then you'll be able to find him there.
Like an adventure?
The elder just looks at you.
Sorry, I'll stay quiet.
And getting back.
Once Trent is freed, if you're able to find him, then I will be able to bring him back, along with the rest of you.
And if we were to fail in freeing Trent?
You will be trapped on the other side of the Vale.
Like how long trap?
He looks at you, and once again says nothing.
I'll look over and give her a zip.
Sorry. Sorry.
The kid steps up, and he says, "You could be there forever."
Oh, thanks, little ghost child, whatever you are.
Hey,
Yup, sorry.
Shall we begin?
Well,
is it cool? Have you paid them? If we
course.
don't make it back, I expect they would like their payment.
The elder turns to you, and he says, "You can pay for the funeral what you wish. We do not charge much, but it will be 300 for Trent and 50 to send you to the other side."
okay. Well, 350 total.
Mm-hmm.
I think Zenkus. No, it was Merton that had a little bit of gold on him, right? Because I was calculating the 500 diamond.
I don't have that much.
I have 270, I think. Yeah.
125.
I think
Okay.
my character
Well,
has
so between the
50.
two of us, we can pay 350. I don't think we would make you pay, Ilaria, considering you're like brand new here. Alright, so are you minusing 75 there, Merton? Can you do that?
I'm
75?
minus 100. I don't really use money.
Okay. Well then, I will minus the other one. Or 250. Then I have like almost 20 left, including the money I just took.
Okay. Did you guys subtract the 350 there?
Yeah.
Alright. The monk takes this coin and hands it over to one of the assistants. He does not even give it a look and leaves the counting to somebody else before stepping up towards Trent there. He places his hand over his body, and you watch as the glow begins once again. And he seems to lose himself, like he's caught up in the ritual, and you get the sense that he's not really cognizant of what's happening around him. The rest of the group kind of crowds in too, and this younger one in the blue robe steps up, and he looks at you all and says, "So, we're ready then?"
I'm gonna shrug.
Yes, sir.
As ready as we'll ever be.
He moves into a stance there near the wall, and with a few hand motions and holding some sort of arcane item in his hand, which promptly sort of like shatters into some kind of sparkling dust, he carves out a path, like a symbol, with his hand, and you watch as the wall in front of you seems to peel back, and the color on it of like the grayish stone begins to turn almost translucent until you see what looks like a door there. Just like a solid sort of rectangle that leads to some other unknown. There's like swirls of colors on the other side. It looks like a sort of like light blue in a gray tone almost. And after that, he just kind of steps back. And you can see he's still holding his hand out, the one that had the arcane item in it, almost like he's focusing to keep the door open.
I'll look at Illyria and unzip my mouth and then give her a hand to go first.
Oh, thanks. I'm just gonna jump in.
Okay. She steps
Why-
in, and
why are you
Illyria
sending-
disappears past the wall, just into nothing.
Why are you sending her through?
She knows Trent, does she?
You may have doomed a young lady who knows not much in this world. Zenkus, you next?
I walk towards it and I go in.
Okay. Zenkhouse
Fair
disappears
enough,
as well.
I'll go, just assuming me and Zakul are going to go at the same time.
Okay.
I'll step in as well.
Alright. You guys all disappear through to the other side. After traveling through what feels like being thrust through a mist, you eventually emerge on the other side as like the smoke peels back and the landscape becomes visible. You're standing in a field, and the field is very much like what you would see just on the material plane. It kind of reminds you of the rolling hills that you guys had traveled through in the center of Skyfall, and you find that the four of you are all there together. Behind you, there's a swirling of mist that you guys have just emerged from, and it collapses on itself with an audible sort of wood against wood noise as the mist is shoved out and just dissipates into nothing, leaving you in this field.
Well,
Interesting. Hi! I'm gonna say hi to Zenkus, because I believe he's the one I was spoken to.
Mm-hmm.
I just say hello back to her in her head. I don't move my lips.
Whoa! Freaky shit!
well, please focus. Think of thoughts of Trent. We need to find him.
You know,
Anything you
Trent.
may know about him.
Trent is a free spirit. I think Illyria will have the best chance of finding him, actually. So, feel free to be yourself, actually.
Yeah, sometimes Trent, when he's like in a mood, he kind of just goes and kind of like wanders and thinks and stuff. But then when he's like really focused on something, like he wants something, he will he'll look for it. So if he's looking to come back to life, he'll probably be wandering around a lot.
Now,
So
as you guys are standing there, there is one visual that you're able to pick up on that's a little bit different than just the field, which is that the sky above you seems kind of featureless. Like there's no moon, there's no sun. It's just kind of like a dull light that comes down. It's very eerie, not necessarily in like an uncomfortable, creepy way, but it's not natural. And as Illyria turns over to you and starts describing like, oh, well, Trent would probably be doing this or whatever, you notice something. Things start to pop into place. Like the field almost generates things around you, and you're able to see what looks like trees that move into existence next to you and then kind of like disappear. Like they've just been spawned into existence and then pulled back out. And then you see what looks like recognizable objects too. You see like a park bench appears, and then the park bench pulls away, and then you hear the sound of people talking, and then that disappears. And then you see what looks like a ghost almost there, like moving past, and then that disappears.
Trent was a fan of alcohol, right? I'll take a big whiff. See if I can smell
I mean, I
anything.
bet you if he's conscious right now, he's probably freaking out that he can summon stuff. If it's him, just saying.
I believe that is an attribute of the veil, not much to do with Trent himself.
Oh, okay then. I don't know.
There may not be what we actually know to be.
Now, as you mentioned this, Illyria, you're thinking of Trent, and something pops into existence that seems distinctly related to him. And you see what looks like a cobblestone road that you remember being like a common ground in Soulsland, like a very popular haunt for the kids from the university. You recognize what looks like buildings that pop into existence that you've seen before. They're, like imitations of themselves, not perfect replicas, but you know what it is that they mean to represent.
Oh. Oh. I'm just gonna start walking down it without saying anything.
Sure.
I kind of turn and look at the other two. Do we follow her?
I'm following her. calmly.
Okay. Now you guys are walking along, and as you're following behind her, you watch as the field here is constantly changing between this sort of separate reality that comes in and goes out, and it's kind of like waves hitting on the shore of some other world. And it looks like a civilized area. You see what looks like stone buildings with wooden planks and everything like that. And you guys haven't been to Soulsland, have you, in your travels?
If I have, I don't remember.
Okay. Zencast and Zakul?
Yes.
Okay. So this is new for you, but it definitely looks like a human city. And as Illyria's wandering down, Illyria, you sense that you're getting closer towards something. Recognizing the street, you know that you're walking up towards a university hall itself. It's a building owned by the Eldritch Tower, where all of the arcane learning takes place, but it's outside of those grounds, and it's kind of almost like a clubhouse sort of thing. A lot of raging parties have been held there and everything. You can practically hear the sound of familiar voices speaking as you get closer towards this thing, and the building begins to appear in front of you. And as it does, for just a moment, you feel like you almost hear Trent's voice, and then it disappears. And when it does, it's replaced by the sound of something animalistic that you hear off in the distance. And I want all of you guys to roll a perception check.
Once I real, I'll figure out where my new perception is.
Ooh. I see it, whatever it is.
You can go ahead and type whatever you've got in there.
I rolled at disadvantage and I still got 16.
That's pretty good.
Oh yeah, I forgot you're half blind.
I know how it feels.
No, that's just on attack rolls. That's because I have battle fatigue.
Oh, okay.
It's just
Battle fatigue. I have exhaustion and disadvantage on attack rolls.
all the time, baby.
That's right, you have exhaustion.
Which is
You're no longer
permanent one.
on Zenkas for a bit.
Fun,
He's
fun, fun.
super nerfed at the moment.
Okay. Let's see what you guys got. Oh, a nat 20 and a 21. Oh, 16? Okay. Merton, you hear a strange noise. You're not entirely sure what it is, but there's something else that seems to be here, and it's not just the chatter of humans in this strange, ghostly town that pops into existence. As for you, Zenkes, you can hear that these are bestial, and they sound very familiar. And it's kind of like a dog or a hound or something like that. For you, Illyria, these sound like wolves from the countryside, which you've had the opportunity to kind of witness before from, Soulsland's town walls and everything. And as for you, Zakul, you can actually hear very, very mild pitter-patters of their footsteps. And it sounds like there's a pack of wolves approaching, probably numbering in the 4 to maybe 6 range.
I tell my party to stand at guard. We have wolves approaching, about 4 to 6. From this direction?
It seems like they're coming to you from in this direction, yes, from down the road. The buildings around you and the trees and the well off to the side of the road and everything only populates out for a little bit, going maybe 50 feet away at most, and then just it turns back into the field in every direction. And when you look out past where the road basically stops and ceases to be generated there, you see nothing but the field. But you can hear them. You can definitely hear what sounds like creatures approaching.
Miss Illyria, please step back.
Huh? Okay.
Paladin Merton. We
Well,
here
you
to
guys
have
are
some
a
company from the fear.
big, strong group of white knights over here.
Well, have you returned her crossbow?
Yeah. Can I have that?
Probably would have
All
only
of my
stepped
stuff?
in, yeah. Yeah, I would have looked through it to make sure like there wasn't like a note from Mr. Chow or something, but that's all I wanted it for. And I don't think I found that, so yeah, I would have given it back.
If you find Trent, kill him.
Christ.
So you passed Tessa's bow to Illyria?
Oh no, I have my own
She
crossbow.
gave me
that
a
I can-
crossbow.
Oh, she gave you.
She
Okay.
She
was
gave me
holding-
all
she
of
was
her,
holding it
all
like
of
here.
her stuff to.
Okay.
Just
So you guys kind of cluster together here and look off down the road, and a group of creatures come just appearing out of nowhere. They step out onto the road here, and you can see that they look like wolves, just like you had suspected, Sakul, except they're partially see-through, almost sort of ghastly. And I need everybody to please roll initiative. And since you guys heard them, there will be no surprise round for them.
I hope Zenkus has a silver
I'll
rapier.
look through Merton's bag. You'll find a set of fake boobs. Yes, you will.
Wait, with exhaustion, I have a disadvantage on.
On initiative?
Think initiative.
I don't think it counts. I wouldn't bother with it.
Okay.
We'll give you that.
Kind via militia.
Uh-huh.
I only expect to lose like maybe one person here in the other room.
Fuck, if I die again after just making a character.
How tall is the grass around us? Is it like hideable, or is it just for aesthetics?
These are trees actually. So
Oh, trees.
let me see. I will make
He
it a
says
bit.
that and he walks over, he's hiding behind a transparent tree. The wolf's just looking at him.
Oh, I'd lose my
I don't know why I was
shit.
picturing it like a tall
You're not
grass.
hidden. The tree
field.
is see-through.
No, yeah, I figured everything was like semi, like misty or whatever, but
You hide behind
It
the
would-
tree, and
it
then
would
just
be funny
randomly.
if it was all transparent.
You hide behind the tree, and then the tree just randomly fades away. Like, just drops down completely.
There we go. A little bit more detail. All right, let's see who's first. Merton, looks like you're going first. What do you want to do? This pack just appears out of nowhere and starts to charge on you.
That is a good question. Oh. I'll cast Armor of Agathis on myself.
Ah, okay.
And then I will move to a little bit of a better position behind Daddy Z.
God, it's so weird.
Is that your turn?
Yes, sir.
All right,
Wait,
Daddy
no.
Z, it's your
I
turn.
go right
Oh,
after you.
oh. Bonus action, I'll Shadow Blade.
Ah, okay.
I'll summon that.
So
Although those are
cool.
2 spells, so I can't do that. Never mind.
Yeah, they're both level 1s, right?
Yep.
Or more, yeah.
But I have to cast things at level 2 now because I'm overlocked, so I don't think I can do that. All very confusing. I just cast Armor of Agathis. That's my turn.
Your turns. What do you want to do? There's a cool.
Hopefully we can handle this easily. Stay close. And I'll channel divinity,
Okay.
and that's my action. As a bonus action, I will give Shield of Faith to Mr. Merton here,
Okay.
giving him 2 additional AC.
Is that your turn?
That is my turn.
Illyria, it's your turn next.
Wow. Let me see. 4 walls. There's, you said they're spectral, like see-through?
Yeah, you can partially see through them. Kind of just
Oh,
like the
cool.
buildings and the trees around you and everything.
That's so weird. Is nobody else phased by this? That's super weird, right?
Well, we are in the Vale.
Oh, okay.
We entered the ghost world. You're like, hey, anybody else kind of freaked out by ghost worlds?
Get used to it. That's going to happen a lot, I think.
Fuck. I would like to cast Firebolt on the most front forward ones.
Okay. Go for it.
Once I find it really quick. Sorry. Didn't
No.
have anything open.
All good. I know what it's like to be playing a new character and all.
Okay, so it's D20 to hit. Okay. Which would be 10 plus 6, 16.
16. You hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
1d10, right? Yeah. Two. Wow. Fuck. Okay, two.
Okay.
It's I would
That
like.
answers the magical question.
You fire a small little firebolt there, and it actually strikes the wolf as it's mid-stride. And when it does, the bolt kind of, bursts into flame, and the wolf recoils. And you watch as instead of having maybe like its fur be singed, it pushes back, almost like somebody disturbing an image in the water, and then gradually sort of retakes its shape.
Interesting.
Is that
Let's
your
see, my
turn?
turn. I moved 5 feet backwards behind
Okay.
Martin.
Yeah. A few attacks. 2 on you, Zenkas, and 1 on you, Merton, and 2 on Zakul. So 2 attacks on Zenkas. Zenkas does... Ooh. Does a 17 or a 15 hit?
17, yes. 15, no.
Okay. You take... 4 plus... You take 6 damage, and I need you to make a charisma saving throw for me.
Oh,
You take 48 damage.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh, the memories.
That's painful. Wow.
Whoa. A
Uh-oh.
double
Wow.
6 arena.
That's painful. How dare you bring that memory up?
I rolled a 6 for my saving throw.
A 6. Okay.
That's not a good sign.
That's definitely not fucking good.
One of these beasts leaps in your direction, Zenkas, and as nimble as you are, you're able to avoid the thing, but when the second one lunges at you, you're unable to escape. Its teeth grab in towards your forearm here. So you kind of got like your arm up trying to beat back this wolf, and it bites down on your arm, and as it does, in that momentary pang of pain, you look around and realize that you're in a completely different area. You're not next to Zakul or Merton or Illyria. You don't even see the other wolves, but you do see the 2 that were assailing you, and you're somewhere completely different altogether. It looks like you're in a barren wasteland, where all of the grass from the fields from before seems to be gone, and there's a sort of like caked dirt that has been made totally barren and unlivable by like some unforeseen sun in the sky, which has just left it like super brittle and dry. And the only thing that you can see around you is bones, bleached white, of animals like small and large. So you are, let's see, be like a massive rib cage of some sort of creature like this. And then like a big skull over here on this side, maybe.
I thought it was gonna do that desert trope thing where it's just a skull. What happened to the body? Why is it only a head?
Nobody knows. You are over here. As you look around, you can, however, see that off 50 feet in any direction, the field seems to be there once again. And that is those attacks. Zakul. 2 attacks on you. Does a 18 or a 16 hit?
Nope.
Okay, those both miss. Merton, 1 attack on you.
I'll use my
Does-
reaction to this event.
Oh, nice. Okay, that would be a 16, but now it's a... Come on.
Misses anyway.
I would have missed anyway. So
Okay, so you're good. So those ones miss, and it is your turn, Zenkas. Or wait, whoever wants to go first here between Trent and Zenkas. Oh, Trent's not in this one. There we go. The smarty
sorry.
was still there.
Middle of the fight, we just cut over to Trent's dead like face, his tongue's hanging out.
That's so fun.
Switches back.
Oh, and my turn.
He's just partying super hard in the Vale somewhere.
Somewhere Sandstorm plays by Darude.
Yeah. You guys all see that as one of these things lunges at Zencast, the moment it bites him, he like, gives out a pang of pain there, like winces for a moment, and then him and the two wolves just disappear, and they're gone.
Try not to get bit.
It's your turn. What do you want to do, Zencast?
No matter what I cast is disadvantage.
Who would win, 2 wolves or 1 disadvantaged boy?
Yeah, like you separated the cripple from the dude. It's just like, oh god.
Alright, I'm gonna try and melee attack.
Okay, sure.
Good luck, my friend.
Anyone
My
in
other
particular?
My other option is to cast a spell in melee range of them that's not a melee spell.
Perhaps if you bite them back, it'll take you back.
Just fucking take a chunk of fur out of him.
So that one.
Okay, go for it.
Take me back. Alright, here you go.
19.
That's pretty good. Yeah, you hit.
Hmm.
And that's with the, like, silvered rapier?
Yes.
Okay. Roll your damage.
9 piercing damage.
Ooh. You lunge forward and stab at this one. Even though it doesn't appear to be like a full-fledged creature, clearly translucent due to some magic, there's resistance as your rapier passes through the threshold of its outer hide. And when it stabs through the thing, its form warbles once again, like somebody breaking an image. And after that, just kind of lets out a howl and vanishes from existence, leaving you with one only. Is that your turn?
Yes.
The other one snarls in your direction, and I need everyone to roll initiative again.
Tesla's
Ooh,
book
I got a
writing, by the way?
nat 20.
What's up?
Tesla's book writing, by the way.
You have it in your backpack right now.
Okay, so I have to like.
You
plug
can
it
try
out.
giving it commands and stuff if you want, but I don't know if you really want to spend your action doing that.
Okay.
The life of a cripple hangs in the balance. 2 cripples, actually. The Cryptastic Mondays. Looks like I'm going first, unless one of you guys got a natural.
No, I
Who's
got
the other cripple?
Well, Zencast, you said, is basically a cripple, because he's got, exhaustion on him.
He is.
But-
And then
Thanks,
Trent's the
Daniel.
cripple.
Oh, well, yeah.
We're trying to save the other cripple.
He's dead AF.
We'll do the
I'm
attack.
the ultimate cripple.
We'll do the attack on you first, Zenkus. Okay, that's a 9. You're probably alright. Let's see. Over here... So cool, you haven't hit either of them yet, right?
Nope.
No, okay. So they're going to keep attacking you then. 2 more attacks. 16.
Nope.
And Merton, a 10.
No, sir.
Okay. It's your turn, Illyria. What do you want to do?
Oh. See, so I see they're closing around on them, but I'm okay.
They don't seem to have moved to attack you yet.
I. No, my stuff. This is so weird. I would like to guiding bolt.
Ooh.
One from Merton.
Okay. Go
Shit,
for it.
It's Tessa.
It's Tessa.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh!
Aw.
That
Would have
14.
made a great impression.
Still hits. Still hits.
Do it. Its guiding bolt is how many d6? 46s? It's
4d6s, yep.
You could have been rolling a lot of day.
Oh,
My.
17 damage.
okay.
Pretty good.
How do you shoot this thing? Like Merton's standing in between you.
Right in the face.
Okay.
I want it to be close enough to Merton that he fucking feels it.
Okay. Merton, you have your daggers out. You're ready to deal with this creature lunging at you. It rears back like it's about to make its strike. And before it can, you feel like an energy pass by you. And just coming like past your shoulder, you watch a beam of light that strikes this thing. And the wolf just vaporizes from existence.
I'll look back over my shoulder and for a nod.
Seems like a very familiar spell. Almost like the same player.
Take another step backwards.
Okay.
That's the energy.
Zencast, you're up next.
Go,
gonna tr-
Timmy!
I'm gonna try and stab it.
Okay.
Fuck.
Nope.
Ooh.
That's a miss.
If that was a 1, I could have tried to re-roll it.
Okay. Is that your turn?
One second. Seeing what spells I had prepared. If I summon my spiritual weapon, would I have disadvantage on its attack rolls?
I don't think so. I think you could make an argument for either way. But I'd let you just have it attack normally. It's not concentration, so it's not really like you're exerting like a force on it. It just kind of does its own thing.
Okay, I'm gonna summon it then.
Sure.
I'm gonna have it try and stab this one in the side.
Go for it.
Uh, 24.
That hits. Roll damage.
It's just a D8, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't play clerics often. Okay.
Nice.
That will be 10 force damage.
10 force damage. Your blade appears there, lunges forward, and strikes this wolf, and it disappears from existence as well as you kill it there. Is that your turn?
As I'm in, since I disappeared into this barren waste and I'm just looking around,
Mm-hmm.
now that they're both dead, does anything else happen, or?
Yeah, it looks like the scenery around you is fading. Like the bones and the ground are starting to be replaced by the field again.
I'm just gonna move beside my blade, and I'm gonna end my turn.
Okay. After Zenkes, it is your turn, Merton. What do you want to do?
Well, I don't want to spend a whole turn summoning my weapons again and not do anything, so I'm gonna just Eldritch Blast that one.
Okay.
That is a 14 to hit.
That hits. Roll damage.
Two.
It is
Two
still
force
alive.
And I'll move into its melee range
Okay.
and try to maybe goad it to hit me.
Okay. Is that your turn?
Yes.
Daddy's a cool. It's your turn.
Oh, is it catching on?
Yep.
Oh, God. I will hit the other wolf that was not touched yet.
Ooh.
A 21.
21
Or 22.
hits.
22 to hit. 22.
That also hits.
That is 10 dead.
10. Okay. You swing your sword and hit this one and banish it from existence. Its image fades away into nothing with a howl.
My hammer.
Damn it! Damn it! You hammer the shit out of that thing with your hammer.
But I'm my turn there.
Okay,
Zenkus, where are you? I shout, and then I am my turn. If I
Sure.
hear no answer.
roll initiative, please.
None of us really care. We're all like, hey, yeah. Doing the same initiative.
I need to stop rolling into those black dice over there.
Yeah. Those are screwing you over,
Never
man.
goes well.
Oh my god, I beat you guys with a 12?
I rolled
Yeah, I
a
rolled a
1.
4, okay?
I was the highest. I rolled a
Get your
6.
ass out of here.
Okay.
Can you actually delete those dice since you have your screen ready?
No. Those are his.
These
You
black
feel
dice over here?
safe with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can get rid of them.
Oh,
How
well,
could you
alrighty
know?
then. That's
Getting
exactly
used
where I
to
like
this
to
being
roll.
there.
The wolf in front of you hears a call, will disengage and break away. It moves merely 10 feet over in this direction, leaps off of the road, and disappears from existence. Zencast, over here in the boneyard, you see what looks like a wolf that appears, maybe 10 or 20 feet. It looks over in your direction and snarls, and then it leaps away and disappears. And you guys are no longer in combat.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll my HP really quick.
Sure?
Yes, Jamie, I'm still at level 1 HP.
Oh, you forgot to get HP.
D6 is...
Oh, this is a big moment. Are you rolling?
Oh
Wait,
my
what
god,
level
all
are you?
three!
Awesome.
What level are you? Did we ever go over? what you
Mistakes
started?
were
Four.
made!
Oh, fuck! Okay. That's not bad.
So you
It's
are
rolling-
starting at our level? I know
Yeah.
last time. Okay.
It's 10 plus all my con.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Now that we're out of combat, I'll
I am
summon
higher
my
than Tessa's
spiritual
HP.
weapon.
Okay.
Or my packed weapon. I think I'll just leave that out from now on, because summoning it every fight is super annoying.
Sure.
yeah, now that we're out, I'm gonna cast Mage Armor on myself.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
You guys fortify yourselves as these creatures are thrown down, killed, disappear. You're left here alone, and Zencast is nowhere to be found.
Hey, where's the little guy that looked like Jennifer? Or small like Jennifer?
Zencast!
Zenkus!
I hear none of. I hear none of this. I assume.
No, you don't hear any of it, but as you're standing there, having just defeated this wolf, seeing a new one appear, and then leaving, the boneyard around you seems to kind of disappear, and it grows more and more faint until eventually you're standing in just the field, by yourself, and that's it. Now, as for you guys, you step around and look around the place and call out for Zencast, and as you do, you notice that the buildings and the trees and everything start to disappear.
This could be a problem. We
Or
have two
perhaps
lost
we're
souls in
going
the day.
somewhere else. Oh,
Guys, I'm
well.
pretty sure this is where me and Trent went to school.
I'm just starting to think about the group. See if they start to phase in.
Sure.
We have another issue.
Should we start walking before the road goes away then? If Zenkus is still out there, seems like he's not here.
Illyria, lead the way. Find
Sure.
where you think Trent may be.
Back to those thoughts you were having. Maybe less wolves.
I didn't
Wait.
think of wolves.
Could we be split like the other two? Or Illyria is thinking about Trent. I'm thinking about Zenkus and the little gnome guy who's dressed up like. He was the worst cross-dresser ever.
You guys can think about whatever you want to think about, you weird fetish freak.
Jesus Christ.
I'm thinking of the Donald Trump gnome. But I told Illyria to lead the way. And
Yes, I'd like to
get us,
continue
get
my
us
path
through.
down the cobblestone road.
Okay. You guys are wandering along here, all kind of grouped up and whatnot, and as you're walking along, Table Talk, you have some kind of different thoughts going through your head. Merton and Illyria, you're thinking of Trent and where he might have gone off to. And Zakul, you're wondering where your gnome backup seems to have disappeared to. Now, as you guys are wandering, the buildings start to reappear. You see that same one from before that was here a moment ago that comes back, halfling. short people. I don't know why they made 2 types of short people. There's like 3 types of short people.
Dwarves.
Yeah, it's insane. Anyway, the buildings start to reappear, and then, perhaps good, perhaps not, you watch as Zakul disappears.
Whoa.
What a strange land.
Hey, buddy? Buddy, can you hear me?
Now, as for you, Zakul, you appear next to Zenkas. You watch as the buildings kind of bleed away, and your companions disappear, and then you find Zenkas standing there. He has like his spiritual weapon out, and he's just in the middle of a field around nothing, standing there.
Zenkas, are you okay? Is that you?
Yes, it's me.
Last we saw you, you were bitten by one of those spectral wolves.
Yes, when that one bit me, it phased me to this boneyard.
What have you been thinking of that you have not returned to the group?
I've been thinking where the hell the group is. I haven't thought about Trent at all, which...
You do understand the veil and what the monks said. They said, think of what your objective is. If we're just here, aimlessly wandering around, we could easily be lost.
I'd like somebody to roll luck, please.
Go ahead,
Dead
timer.
one.
Do it. Okay, now, you
Do
meant
it,
for the whole group?
Kimmy,
Is
roll a luck roll, please.
Kimmy, roll luck.
Kimmy.
What
I
is
accidentally
Kimmy?
typed
No,
K
Kimmy.
instead of J.
Oh, that was heartbreaking.
That hurt me.
Yeah, the edge of the table made him roll back.
The tease.
Yeah, it's a 3.
Okay.
In exchange for Trent's soul, we lost 2 people then.
You guys kind of stop here in the road for a moment when Zakul disappears to, remark on the fact that, wait, where the hell did he go? And as you guys are standing there, maybe a few seconds go by, maybe a minute. It's kind of tough to tell exactly in this place. But something is heard off in the distance, and you recognize it from before. You hear the sound of wolves howling again.
Oh, that doesn't sound good. Were you thinking of wolves?
No.
Oh,
Perhaps the wolves are what come when you are unsure. If we get our mind back on track, maybe they'll leave us.
Sure. I believe our goal was to look for Trent.
So, Zakul, shall we both think of Trent at the same time?
Thinking of the young man right now.
I'm thinking of his horrible tasting alcohol.
And tasting skirts around Hillcrest and later for a moment in Yule.
I'm thinking
Yep.
of Trent and Greece.
Do you remember the story of him talking to us about Greece and those young human women who would wrestle each other, slathered with such grease?
As Zakul is describing this Zenkas, and you look over at him, you see what looks like a scene that's starting to build behind him. And you see like what looks like the back wall of a tavern that kind of comes into existence. And you see a booth over there with, like a table and a bunch of chairs around it. And you hear the sound of like glasses clinking.
Oh, well, he's obviously in there. Right when that comes up, I'm going right in there.
Wait, do we see it?
No.
Oh,
That's
Zenkas-
just what Zencast notices coming in while Zakul's talking.
Much like that tavern there, where Greece fighting scantily clad lasses may be. Let's go in. Trent probably be inside. And lead Zenkas towards the tavern.
Okay,
I walk towards it with him.
sure. So you guys head over towards this building that's starting to show itself here. And, like little bits of grass appear next to the thing outside, and like a small road begins to extend out from it. You guys just kind of walk along this and head up towards the main door. As for Merton and Illyria, you guys are still thinking of Trent, right?
Yeah.
yes.
You guys end up on the same road here. And while thinking of Trent and wandering forward, the scene changes eventually until, Illyria, you're back on an area that you recognize. It's that little stretch of road in Solsland that goes over towards the like the little clubhouse that's so popular with all the university students. And not only do you see that thing come into existence, but you also see that there's two familiar faces there. You see Zenkas and Zakul, who are both walking up. They're like ahead of you guys somehow on the road headed towards the tavern.
Hey, thanks for waiting for us, jerks.
Huh?
When you guys turn around, you see in the scene here that Merton and Illyria are behind you.
Well,
Try
that
sticking
appears
on the
to
road
work.
this time, strangers.
Stay focused. Stray thoughts seem to take you to other places here. But this tavern, when I started thinking of the stories Trent told, this is where we were led. Thoughts of Greece and scantily clad women seem to do the trick.
Yep, that sounds like Trent. So,
Were you thinking of the same things?
well, I mean, who do you think helped set it up?
Were you one of the women?
Oh, no. No, I'm too smart for that one. But, I did help Trent with it.
I see.
When you guys
Go
get
right for the
close to the
door.
door, especially for you, Merton, as you're the closest, you can hear what sounds like a busy bar scene from within.
Going right in before it disappears.
Okay?
Yeah.
You grab a hold of the door handle, and despite how it is a partially see-through sort of thing, it feels very real in your hand. When you turn the thing, the door opens, and you step into a large tavern room. The tavern room is not empty. There's a bar over in the corner, tables and chairs, that sort of thing. But there's also something quite strange. So put like the little bar in right here and everything. Little tables, some chairs and whatnot. At the center of the room, you can see a large spider-like entity that hangs from the ceiling. It has a sort of almost like a serpentine-like body, like a centipede or a snake that leads up towards the ceiling and wraps itself around a large chandelier up there. The rest of its body, which comes down from this serpentine and like sort of almost like undulating mass, breaks off into these 8 arms. And the 8 arms seem to be pitter-pattering around a human that you recognize there. Trent is seated in the very center of the room, kneeling there. And this thing is pulling at the air around him. So he's like right here. And let's see. This creature would be hanging from the ceiling directly above him.
Wow, that's some big ass.
Trent, though his eyes are open, is staring straight ahead, like he's completely out of it. And it doesn't take you long to realize that he's kind of like comatose or something, just staring forward.
And all the patrons and stuff we heard were.
You can hear them, but you don't see anybody other than like a ghost that seems to almost like walk into place and then phase out afterwards.
Guess we're not getting any fire water. So cool.
No, I believe we have identified what's keeping Trent here so occupied. Maybe lucky for us, this has prevented him from moving on.
Now, meanwhile, Trent, I need you to make for me a charisma saving throw, please.
Sure.
Oh, we're gonna fight Trent if he fails that.
Oh god. Oh no.
That's a 4.
Okay. Ever since having been struck down in battle, you had that telltale moment that so many people speak about, that sort of experience of being in a hallway and like kind of traveling towards the light. And while kind of on this hallway, you relived your life and started to kind of pitter-patter through your memories and think about everything that's kind of been happening to you. And the experience of traveling to some other realm or to whatever it is that lies beyond like the veil of death never really comes to you. You just kind of keep thinking over your memories. Now,
Well, we knew he was a conflicted young man. It seems that is the personification of his feelings. Can't say I'm surprised.
the creature here, whose long and sort of like bleached, spidery legs paw at the air around Trent, turns to face you. And I say face you with no other word to really use, because it doesn't really have anything for a face. It's just like its body sort of orients in your direction, like the legs kind of turn. And you guys hear a voice, and the voice calls out and says, "What do you want?"
We're here
I
to
didn't
bring
need
you
that one.
back. You are Trent's mind, are you not? Trent's indecision?
The creature says nothing, and instead diverts its attention back towards Trent, focusing on him.
Perhaps you should stop toying with him
That's not toying.
and it's our companion.
Oh, you're talking to him.
No, I was talking to the spider.
Oh, I think you have it wrong, Zakul. I think they're one and the same.
I'm just gonna call her, "Hey, Trent!"
The creature
Hey,
speaks
buddy.
again, and it says, "Is correct. This one belongs to me."
Man only belongs to himself.
Exactly.
I hate to burst your bubble, but Trent does not like dudes that way.
Strictly heterosexual.
Trent, you are stuck in limbo. You need to think about what it is you want so you can
Trent,
move on.
appreciate that one.
An indecisive mind will only stay here forever.
The creature turns to face you, Merton, and this time says, "Leave."
We can't leave until you make up your mind. Trent, I know you can hear me. It's Merton. We've come to get you back. Won't you come with us?
You call to the man. You clearly see Trent seated there on the ground, but he does not move, and your calls elicit no reply.
And you still have a fiance waiting for you at home.
Oh God, Trent got married.
So she's
Oh, she better
she's
be
a
like
noble
a
of good
10.
standing, and perhaps she would put out to whatever you wish to do with her body in the near future after you are married.
Bleh. I'm gonna gag as loud as I can.
The creature
But
turns
that's
to face
only-
you all again and says, "Your chatter interrupts me." And
Well-
as it says this, you guys watch as everything seems to almost like bleed away, and you find yourselves in a field, just the empty field again, with nothing around you.
Well, if he could do that in the first place, why didn't he if he wanted us to leave?
I'm starting to think that's not Trent, more that entity over him is holding him here.
Hmm.
I'm gonna call out, "Hey, weird spider thing! I'll make you a trade for Trent's soul."
You shout out into the nothingness, but there's no reply. You're just standing there in the field with your 3 new companions.
Oh, thought that would work.
What if I just
These
think
things like
really
souls.
hard of Trent standing with us in the field?
Trent doesn't do fields.
Oh, I'm not. That was me thinking in game,
Oh.
not saying it.
Oh, there you said it.
You guys
I don't know
notice
what-
while you're standing there that like little bits of road start to appear again, and a scene starts to build up around you.
It's the same cobblestone road that leads into Soulslip.
It looks like
Yeah.
it.
Well, we could storm back over there, but perhaps a plan needs to be in order.
Maybe we should think of all Trent's really good memories.
Well, I tried to give him his one vice. Well, one of his many vices. Seems to
Seemed
be
he
the
couldn't
love of
hear
war.
us, and we might have to disturb the concentration of whatever that thing is.
Oh.
As you turn to converse with your friends and stop thinking about Trent there, Merton, the area around you seems to kind of revert back towards the field, and the bits starting to pop into existence now kind of pull back.
I'll start thinking about being in the tavern right where I was like 20 seconds ago.
Sure. Yeah,
I'll
the
start
more you
thinking
think about it, the more it starts to kind of bleed in.
Well, I agree. Disturbing it will be the way. And I also begin thinking of the tavern, what it looked like, Trent standing there with the spider over him.
Sure. It takes you guys only moments before you're standing in front of the tavern again. The scene
wanna
is
summon-
identical.
I want to summon the Shadow Blade, and when I open the door, I want to throw it at the spider thing,
Oh, sure.
because it does psychic damage. It seems like it would be.
Make an attack with advantage.
Okay.
Blowing the spider's mind.
20 to hit, not natural.
20 to hit, not natural. 20 hits. Roll damage.
Ten psychic damage. Now, it was this thing has the finesse property. Does sneak attack go off of, since it was surprise? Is that why it was
Yes.
advantage? So I can roll that?
You can roll sneak.
Got to find out
What?
if
Oh,
physical...
my what?
Okay.
What do you want?
That's a
What's that
5.
one? Alright, so 15.
Okay.
10 of it was psychic.
You throw out the blade across the room. The large, overhanging creature that looms over Trent is struck by the thing, and it turns over to face you after kind of quivering for a second. There's no
Think really
pain or
hard about
anything, but you see
pain.
the legs kind of flail violently almost, and they turn and then pull away from him and turn to face you. And it says, "I'll have your souls instead." And I need everybody to roll initiative.
Joke's on
could-
you.
this could
I
be
don't
our-
have one.
Do I need to roll initiative or?
Trent, yeah, go ahead and roll initiative, please.
Also, would I have had a long rest, or am I still
The
at
longest
Yes.
of
0
all.
hit points? And...
You would have a long rest. Oh, fuck, I rolled like garbage.
Did you get an 18 too?
Wait, are you gonna get Trent
I got
injury
a
as his
natural
battle
18.
stats, or is it
You
because
go
it's
first,
in
you
his
go
mind?
first.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Trent has his normal stats with the, what's it called? With a long rest.
I'm assuming I don't have portent rolls because.
Did you have
I
any
was in
left
my
over?
No. There's a 1 and a 3 on here for some reason, but I
No.
had used
What you
both
rolled
of
for
them.
your new day or what?
You're doing this without portents then.
Cool.
I mean, does he have injuries? That was my question. Since we're
Those
in
your
the
death
jail.
saves. You use your important things for death saves.
Oh yeah, that's what I did.
I would say his injuries carry over, yes.
Yep, I'm still. Do I have
Still a cr-
crutches?
He just like falls over and all of a sudden, I can't walk.
Let's see here. Crutches. No, you don't have your crutches.
So I can't move. That's cool.
You can crawl about on the ground with no
Right.
legs.
Am I in a chair right now?
No, you're just kneeling on the ground.
Oh, okay. I'll probably grab a bar stool for my first turn.
What was your initiative?
Oh, sorry. 6 plus 2, so 8.
Okay. Looks like you're first, Merton. What do you want to do as this thing turns to face you?
Is it up in the air? You said it was kind of, right?
It's coiled around a chandelier at the center of the building.
So rushing it would not put me in melee range. Does that sound right?
Rushing it? Like going right over here?
Yeah.
No, its lower body looms around Trent. If you're within a space of Trent, you're also within the space of the creature.
Oh. Okay, I'll rush it. Yes.
Okay.
And I'm using a bonus action to re-summon Shadow Blade in my left hand.
Okay.
And I'll use my normal action to attack it with my scimitar.
Okay.
Oh, I am not going to hit. I rolled a natural 1.
You miss completely. Is that your turn?
That is my turn.
Illyria, you're up.
Oh. Okay. So I'm trying to read my spells. I will
Can we
cast.
stand in this place, by the way?
Oh yeah.
Can you stand in that space?
I don't know why it's off for whatever reason.
It is. Yeah, it's off to the side. Because the grid lock or whatever.
Yeah, you're
I'm
good.
gonna cast Scorching Ray. So that's second level. Let's mark that off.
Oh.
So it's 3 attacks.
Okay.
The D20. Oh, where's my D20?
Oh, this was Will's big attack last time.
That is a
But
24
I missed a
for
lot.
the first one. And it's 2d6. I assume 24 hits.
Yes. Oh, no.
Am I?
Wow.
Very
Let's roll a
nice.
second attack.
I think we know who the D6 Whisperer is.
That's a 13. I don't think that'll hit.
13 hits.
Oh, okay. Cool. That's 8 more damage.
Okay.
Last attack.
Oh,
That's 20.
That's a
Grab
That's
some
a
more
good
that
d6s.
is a good use of a
That's-
spell.
Yeah. That's 46.
We'll leave the scorching rays to you.
Oh,
my
that's
God.
Bad. That's 5 damage. That's rough.
5 hit.
Still
It's a
really
rough
good
crit.
for spell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
25 damage is nothing to scoff at for a level 2 spell.
And I'm actually gonna take a step in and then to the side. So can I like be here? Oh.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be my.
Before your turn begins, Zenkes, the creature turns, and after taking
no.
the raise, it speaks to your group and says, "Cease." Do you guys pause at all? It's
No.
your turn, Zenkes.
I'm trying to see if Zenkus decides for it. If he throws an attack right now,
No.
I guess I would say why, if I could respond. But besides that, if he says nothing else, I don't think I'll be stopping.
Okay. What do you want to do, Zenkes?
I ask it, why should we?
It'll turn towards you and say, "A bargain."
No big deals with devils, boys.
there are many tricky things in the Veil. He's not to be trusted.
Am I, like, cognizant at all? Like, what is my state of mind right now?
I would say you can hear vague sounds of like people talking, but it's too abstract for you to understand that these are your friends or anything. And as far as what you can see, it's like colors that are slowly changing from a blur to being things you can recognize. So like you're coming into the world real slow here, like waking up from a coma kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Because I was like, I feel like this would be a pretty big shock, and I might just, like, pass out.
I would like to poop myself. Zenkes, you call out to the being, it responds. You have done your free action talk. What do you want to do with your turn?
I wanna. Can I hold my action, but ready just to cast a spell, like for like
Sure.
if he decides.
What's
Like, I
the
just wanna-
trigger?
I just want to cast. I'll cast Toll the Dead on him if he actually ends up attacking us when it comes to his turn.
Okay. So cool, it's your turn.
A deal, you say? After claiming you want to claim our souls. I step forward towards well, I'll step in between Trent and him, like here. Is that fine?
He's hanging from the ceiling above Trent. So it would, this is inaccurate, it'd be more kind of like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm just putting it there for the time being.
And you'll allow our friend to leave with us.
The thing has its arms poised in your direction as if to fend you off, and some of them are actually holding on to Trent, like grabbing different parts of his coat and everything, sort of wrapped around him. And it holds him kind of like a kid would hold like a teddy bear or something.
Well, you said you would claim our souls, but now you want a deal. Speak.
Trade me, and he is yours.
Trade what? What do you desire?
Power. Do you hold your turn? Are you going to attack him?
That's a very vague thing to say, power, but... Well, unhand him if you want to talk.
The creature does not unhand him.
Well, I'll break those legs off if you wish. I will step forward and swing my hammer at
Okay.
the legs that are holding onto Trent.
Swing the hammer. I mean your sword, sorry.
That freaking roll.
23.
That was close to one. That definitely hits.
And if I'm aiming at the legs and it's not like at his lower torso, can I do a divine smite?
Sure, yeah.
I'll roll another 2d8.
Ooh.
It's not the greatest, but this is 9 radiant damage and 5 bludgeoning.
Okay.
So 14.
You swing out and break one of the arms off of this creature. It snaps and falls to the ground, leaving like an ooze, and then just kind of starts to disappear and pull away, much like the wolves did. And the creature speaks to you and says, "No." Trent, at this point, you are able to see and notice that both Merton and Zakul are next to you fighting some sort of monstrosity that hangs from the ceiling that is currently restraining you. So you can't move unless you're going to action try and break free, but you can still do like attacks or spells or whatever.
Okay, so I have a few things to ask. So sorry
Absolutely.
in advance. What has my state of mind been? I know you said I started reliving memories, but I never went past that.
Yep.
Like, have I just literally been stuck in memories since then?
Yes, and even now, as you are realizing that you have like your most recent companions around you, it's like you're still stuck in a memory. In fact, you're back at like the clubhouse from your sophomore years sort of thing. So
I mean, I guess I recognize where I am. Do I recognize, like, do I see it as sort of like spectrally, like everyone else does, or is this like concrete, like it's a memory?
You see it the same way that they do. This thing is not a memory holding you. It's some sort of strange creature that's actually got its legs wrapped around you.
Would I be able to make any sort of check to see if I know anything about what this creature is, or have I heard of anything like this in my studies?
You can roll
I know
Arcana. You will have to roll very high.
Okay. I will give it my best go. Wow, I'm rolling fantastic tonight. That's a 13 Arcana.
You don't know what this is, but it's clearly some sort of creature you've never encountered.
Okay. In that case, I'm gonna look up the wording to a spell because I need to. Okay. I'm just going to like look around, see everybody here, be like, what the?
You even see what looks like a girl from your past too, like a chick that you used to party with back when you were in those years.
I think that part is what's actually fucking up Trent the most. Like, you know, I think he would wrap his head around his allies coming to save him, but the fact that she's here, like after I was just reliving memories, is like really messing with me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna go invisible and see if I can worm my way out of this guy's grasp when I have the opportunity. But I'm gonna cast invisibility on myself.
Sure. Do you call anything to your allies or anything?
No, I look around and see them, and I'm like, what is? And then I'm just like, fuck this, and I just invisible.
Sure.
Is there a somatic component to that? Like, do we see him cast it, or does he just disappear?
I'm pretty sure there's a somatic component to it.
Yeah,
Is there a verbal?
Okay.
There is.
Or,
a
I mean-
verbal component.
As long as it's not
if you're
he just
restrained, I
disappeared.
don't know if
We're
you
like,
can-
you motherfucker, you killed
What did
You
you do with Trent?
It
You
has
guys,
all three components: verbal, somatic, and material. So I'd probably grab my arcane focus.
He did
start
say you
muttering
were
the spell.
restrained.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can.
Not by the coat.
He'd
He's
still be
being
able to do it.
grappled right now. Really.
You
Like,
guys see that Trent snaps out of his coma here as he's staring forward. He looks around, and you guys get that moment where he looks at you and realizes that you guys have come for him here. And he kind of panics, grabs for his stuff here, and then casts a spell you've seen him cast a few times, and he disappears from existence.
Can I call something out to him?
Sure.
Hey Trent, it's not like we're back in gym class.
And is that your turn, Trent?
Yeah, I think it's an action to try and break grapple, so I can't really try that this turn. But
Sure.
If you're going to make a deal, you need to offer something worth offering. Point my sword at him.
Let's see here. The creature is going to make an attack on you, Zakul, since you are the only one to have wounded it. Does a... a 16 hit.
Does not.
It swings out in your direction, and when it does so, you're able to parry the blow. Despite being kind of ghastly, its legs do bounce off of your shield. And after that, it simply like coils back towards the roof. You watch as its upper body seems to just move through the ceiling as though it's like a ghost melding through a solid object. And as it does this, its legs sort of release, and you guys hear the sound of Trent being basically tossed into this table over here as the beast retracts into the ceiling and disappears. And you guys are no longer in combat.
Did it disengage?
It did.
I'm going to look for it.
Did we hear it, Trent?
I'm gonna start crawling for the door
I'm
Okay.
running outside to look for the thing.
stealthily.
Trent, reveal
Can I try and
yourself.
look for him? Like knowing
you
him,
okay,
he'd probably try
friend?
to just run away.
When you step outside, Merton, you can see that the creature is indeed on the roof. And as it's up there, it looks like it's kind of coiled around the chimney on one side. And sorry, Illyria, what were you doing?
I was just gonna try and look towards the door.
Sure.
Just like knowing Trent, he'd probably just run away.
Is it in range to make us? Can I make a spell at it?
Sure. Yeah, you can cast a spell on it.
Yeah, I'll keep attacking this thing. It's fucking not good.
Go for it.
Just Eldritch Blast it. It's a 20.
Yep. Roll damage.
1. A little pokey 1.
You get a glancing blow on the creature, and it recoils and looks like it goes to flee to the other side of the building.
Wondering, what if I imagine myself on the roof? I'm gonna think of myself on the roof.
Sure. As for the rest of you guys, you watch as Merton runs outside and then shoots a blast towards the roof of the building. What are you guys doing?
Are there any stairs like inside this tavern?
No.
I'm still watching the door.
Still yelling for Trent as they go. You okay, buddy? We came for you.
What the fuck is going on? I'm just
Chad.
gonna like be invisible and try and like move away from everybody. Anybody who gets too close to me, I'm moving away from.
Well, you were,
Jack. Great
you
way
were
to greet
felled
your
in
friends.
battle. And whatever that creature was entrapping you in the veil. He came here to free you and then resurrect your soul.
Oh.
That did not sound any better to him, probably. Whatever you are.
Why is she here?
Her?
Wow! You hate me?
No,
we can
it's been a
discuss
long
this
time,
later. Can we
Illyria.
dispatch the foe on the roof?
Oh,
It's still here?
I'm gonna walk outside, please.
Very much alive and on the roof, apparently. Trent, reveal yourself. You need to stay together. You can easily be separated in this veil.
Just tie him down. I'm gonna go outside.
Well, he's invisible, so we had no idea he's standing over there. Well, we're stepping outside. Zenkes, if you find him, keep him safe.
I'm just yelling in my. I'm just
Yelling into his head.
I'm just yelling in his head. Trent, I'm just yelling and halfling in his head right now.
Is Jennifer here too?
No!
Did I summon you?
No!
We gotta talk. Come back here, Illyria. I need to talk with you.
As you say this, Trent, the vision of your allies nearby and the scene around you begins to kind of white out, and an overwhelming light seems to take everything. And
Guys, I think I'm passing on.
Well,
as you guys hear
Time to
Trent
go
say this,
save me.
it sounds like he's getting distant, like, I think I'm passing on, and he
Think
just
of
kind
the
of
bar.
drifts
Think of the
out.
bar.
And as this
Perhaps-
happens, there's like a loud snap, just like a and you guys find all of yourselves standing there in the room.
Like the room with his dead body, or
Oh,
not
yep.
dead body?
okay.
Oh, look at this.
You guys are
That was
all
a whole
here,
trick.
and the master is standing over Trent, and the glow has stopped. Trent, as you guys, as you open your eyes, Trent, you can see that you're in some sort of strange stone room. You can feel that you're in like reality, like there's something tangible about what's around you, and you can see your party standing over there. Strangely enough, though, this girl from your past is still standing with them, and it seems like she's there, like in the flesh.
Illyria! Really
Oh.
big, like, fake smile on my face.
You don't
Uh,
happy
we-
to see me.
We need to talk. I trust me. I'm happy to see you, but we gotta talk.
I'm gonna look at him
Uh,
and give like a weird eyebrow raise.
Where are we exactly? I'll kind of look around. Like, do I see like the monks that are like clearly responsible?
Mm-hmm. Yep, you're in a room filled with monks, and there's quite a few of them around you that look like sort of senior members that are watching you as you come to.
I see that you guys seem to have caught me disposed at the moment. I thank you all for your efforts in bringing me back. I'd love to speak with each of you individually about the experience and share what knowledge I might have of the Veil with you, but if it's quite alright, I would appreciate a moment with my friends in some sort of privacy, and then we can, discuss. I'm sure we probably owe you guys some money and stuff.
I'll grab Trent's shoulders and
The elder looks at him, turns to face you, Merton, and says, "It seems he's back to normal. We'll leave you be." And everyone kind of clears out of the room.
I thank the blue-robed young kid.
He looks at you and says, "No problem." Turns and goes to leave.
So, guys,
Trent?
what's up?
Oh, Trent. They thought I was in here to
see-
kill you.
what do you remember?
Now, before we continue here, as you guys all crowd around and everything, Trent, I am going to give
Injury
you...
rolls?
What's that?
Do I have injury rolls to make? Do you get injury rolls when you come back from the
Dead
dead?
person roll.
No, not for the resurrection. However, your mind is not entirely the same as you come back, and you feel the distinct tampering with your memories. And as you kind of come to, you realize that the whatever that creature was must have been sort of playing with your mind in a way. Because when you try and recall things, and even think back to like just Illyria standing there and how she fit into your past and everything, you can't put together those memories properly. And your reconstruction of your life has been messed with in somehow. Now, like the main plot points remain, but you have hard times putting together like sequences of events and things like that. Also, I'm going to allow you to change one spell and one cantrip that you have to something
Sweet.
different.
Bitchin'.
Okay.
Trent, what's the last thing you remember?
There was a lot of pain.
Imagine.
I mean, I don't know how long it's been for you guys, but like, I just spent, a solid 18 years in my own head, so
Well,
It's been 3 days.
I don't really know what, oh boy.
Trent, you kind of pause for a moment. A wave of pain, like a bad headache, washes over you as you realize how changed everything is. And we're going to go to a brief 5-10 minute break while you change on your spells and everything like that. So we'll be back in a few, guys.
Cool.
And congrats on getting Trent back.
Lucian,
We'll be back really quick.
Mm-hmm. I heard my
I was
name.
gonna ask, like, for a cantrip like Fireball,
Mm-hmm.
but if
Wait, you have Fireball as a cantrip?
Fireball cantrip.
Excuse
No.
me? I almost sorry
Fireball.
twitched there.
Are you a mystic?
but no, I was gonna say with Firebolt, with like how it's fire damage. Could you ever like be like, I want to learn Ice Bolt and just have it do ice damage instead, but the same roll, or do you not do that?
Oh, just
You
as
are a
like a
mystic.
reflavor?
Yeah, just so it does ice damage instead of
What?
fire.
I'd probably be okay with that if there was a good enough reason for it. Like if you were like, I want to play an ice mage or something, you know?
Okay, I just wanted to ask if you'd do that or not.
Like, are you planning to do that with Zencast, where you just want to
No.
have an
God,
ice
no.
spell out of nowhere?
No.
Okay. But yeah, if you're thinking of future character concepts or something and you want to reskin a spell, I don't mind doing that as long as it fits with the like who the character is. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah, no, I wanted to ask you about that like way before, and then I just totally forgot about it till now.
Yeah. Like if you want to play like a lightning wizard and reskin Burning Hands to be like a cone of lightning or something, like we can do that. You know, we can find a way to get around that.
Okay.
I'm going to reheat my drink. I'll be back.
also be right back.
Okay. Is Kay here?
Guess not.
This dragon came out so fucking nice. It's incredible.
Using your 3D printer?
Yeah, but I broke his head off and I need to fucking hot glue it on. Or super glue it back on. But it's okay because like we've done that before, and these pieces blew really nicely. I'll post a picture of it though. It's really fucking cool.
Okay, is there or phone's ringing? I'm guessing that's your phone ringing.
It's probably her alarm.
I hope that sounds not copyrighted through Twitch. Is that alarm copyright material?
I don't know why they're sideways, but
My DM's getting a 3D printer. One of his pieces is on back order.
oh gosh. I'll be right back. I gotta try and take my dog out. My spells are all in order now.
Still going.
That's Kay's alarm.
Mm.
She's not at her computer. Did you ever download that file, Jimmy, for this one?
No, but I need to.
I have it somewhere. Do you want me to find it? I have it saved somewhere.
Yeah, send it to me. I'll be right back.
I now have knowledge of what Kay's ringtone sounds like.
Sorry, I'm back. Oh my, I did not mute. I am so sorry. I normally
Burned
mute
into
when I
our
walk away.
minds. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
really sorry.
That's been ringing for 6 minutes.
I'm so sorry. I normally mute when I walk away. I'm really sorry. I thought I muted.
I
Fuck,
am
I'm so
so
sorry.
triggered right now.
Really
I mean,
sorry.
sure, I could have just muted you, but I mean, I am so upset.
So is Twitch, because that's copyrighted sound. That's a copyrighted line.
That'd be so funny.
Sorry.
No, it's all good, Kay.
This episode doesn't get posted because someone reported that ringtone, that alarm.
What was the alarm?
Taking you to court for use of that xylophone?
What was the alarm?
I don't
What
know.
is it for?
Uh,
Oh, what the sound was. I can't even repeat the sound.
That's a
Whatever
nice
your
dragon
tenor-
miniature there, Jimmy.
I'm back.
He has to
Oh.
glue the head back on still, he said.
How awesome is that, though, okay?
That looks
What?
crazy good.
Look at the detail on that. Look at his
What did you?
claws.
John, what's
Good
up?
job. Did you pop the head off or something? What happened?
The head fell off when I was taking. There was like
The
All
supports
around
are a
his
bitch
jaw.
to get off.
his whole jaw was just a mess of support.
That doesn't look that bad. Like, if you
That's pretty
took,
good.
what's it called? Like, a really good file to that, you could just,
Mhm.
like, clean up the edges and then take, like, some Warhammer paint to it or something.
Yep. That's what I've been doing, is
The f-
painting minis.
The future is now, my friends.
Yeah, Lucian, if you want any minis, feel free to send me the file and
Gonna
I'll
ship
send
them out to
mail
Canada?
you. Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Guess who's gonna paint them?
I'll pick them
I
up
know.
at Relic's sweater party.
Relic sweater puppies? What?
Little Freudian slip there.
Just so you know, Lucian, I am replacing grease
Oh,
with chromatic orb because it felt like it was like
I love
Story-
chromatic orb.
story-wise, like losing
Significant.
his signature spell.
Mm-hmm.
And then I picked up the cantrip Toll the Dead because I literally was dead. So
Ah.
I
It's your
figured
true
that has.
pal.
Fancy, huh?
Between you and Zencast, we have Ding Dong, motherfucker.
Yeah, we'll be the Ding Dong Bros,
That works.
the Dong Brothers, for short.
The short dog, brother.
The short Dong Brothers, yes. Well, he is a halfling, so you know. Unless they're particularly well endowed, and I didn't know about it. The nice thing about it, though, Kay, is even though the head fell off, it's the perfect size to launch out of the catapult.
Yeah, I should not have given you the catapult, should I?
Now,
Oh my god.
I've
What kind of
already
per-
lost a few screws.
What kind of person uses a catapult? Trebuchet is where it's at.
It might be a
printed one.
trebuchet.
No, it's catapult.
Are we ever gonna use that giant fucking crossbow we got?
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
carrying the arbalist, though. I just haven't used it. Or
I want to
haven't
see you
used
fire
it.
the shit out of that.
Seriously.
He has, like,
I
no
want a head
decks.
fly off.
Yeah, it's
But you're the only
not-
one that can carry it.
Yeah, but it's not strength. Like doesn't roll off strength.
Just
You
hit someone
need
with it
strength
then.
to hold
Don't
it.
shoot it.
Yeah, just like knock someone in the head with it. We're fine.
You need to, like, knock somebody down, step on their chest, and then, like, shoot that into them. Like,
Jeez.
can't go anywhere.
Aim it at them like you're threatening them, and then just hit them with it.
You guys
Okay,
should just
so-
use it for executions like that
Yeah,
PUBG
yeah.
video.
Is
Glad!
that fine in a roleplay setting if we don't use it as like an actual attack? Like I can hit with it, guys on the ground.
I
can
would
hit
give
him
you
in the face.
advantage if he was on the ground and you were standing directly next to him.
We're doing
Like,
it.
I
Or
put
if
the
he's, like,
crossbow
restrained or
onto his
whatever.
chest. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, that guy's not going anywhere.
Hold on, guys. let
Where's
me
the
pin
money,
this one to
boss?
The ground.
Where's the money, Lebowski?
It's gonna be our
It's the
signature
same bolt
execution.
over and over.
It's like it looks like somebody stabbed them with a spear.
crossbow I've ever seen.
I only have 3 bullets, I believe.
3
It
bullets.
goes back to 3 bullets.
Three bullets!
Is there really only 3? I thought there was more than 3.
It said. Let's see here.
There's the
God bless
link,
you,
Jimmy.
Thursday group.
Thank you.
You can just download. It doesn't cost anything. You can just download the
7.
files.
7 special arbalist.
Yeah, I thought it was 7. I remember that.
Are we
I have
ready to
3, Jack.
giggity go?
Giggity goo.
Right.
Alright.
We should have put a guy and just like pinned him to the roof.
There we are. Trent, Merton has asked you what's the last thing you remember. And as you think back and search your thoughts, things are kind of a scrambled mess. You could take it from here as you wish.
Last thing that's really clear was some kind of fight, and my orb got crushed in the fight, maybe?
It
Does
was
that sound
before
right?
that.
Oh,
We
Trent, you
did
carrying
get crushed
orb
and we
around?
were in a fight.
That's so typical, whatever you are. What are you?
Lyria.
Did you miss me?
You did say that.
Oh, mm-hmm. Yeah, now you miss me.
Listen, about why I didn't show up to dinner, I kind of had to flee
No.
town.
Don't even.
Are you fuckers starting a romance?
No,
That's a
No.
little table talk.
No.
Like,
we tried it. It didn't really work. She's a little spacey. No offense.
A little spacey. I don't know, Trent. Maybe just sometimes I can't listen to you talk for fucking 15 minutes straight.
How's Jennifer doing?
Great, obviously. Amazing. Like, disappointed their best friend's not there. A little short.
Oh, somebody roll luck to see the last thing that happened for Jennifer.
I'm rolling it. It's
Yeah,
mine.
Here we go.
Give me the 15. Okay, 15.
Oh.
We're keeping Jennifer safe, please.
Jennifer used to party pretty hard with you guys, but that crafty little halfling was actually pretty good on staying on like the good side of the higher ups in the university. And unlike you guys, where your reps may have been tarnished here and there, or in Trent's case, like demolished from all the debauchery that you guys got into. Jennifer always managed to play a super low profile with them, and even though he, was a good friend and would have your guys back, it looks like things went well for him. Illyria, the last thing you remember with Jennifer was that he was getting a sort of prestigious position with a research group that is up north. So a group of wizards that are around like the ice flow up there, doing some research. He got to sign on with them, and so after everybody kind of finished college and went their separate ways, Trent threw that big rager and then had to leave. Your parents were like, "Okay, time to take over the business," and you're like, "Okay, I got to get out of here." And Jennifer went on to work with this research group.
Jennifer got a job. Probably has a wife and kid by now with a family. I don't know. A 40-year-old person at this point. I don't know. He's up north with some wizards. What the fuck? I'm sorry. What was that?
that was the printer, I'm sure. But,
My printer is freaking out.
Oh, is it locked in a place, you mean?
a woodpecker in his house.
Last thing I heard, Jennifer got a job.
So Trent, you two have a history then. I kind of got that impression.
We're
For
amazing.
some
friends.
reason, she got lost and recognized you. And we came here to bring you back.
Bet you he's not even surprised I got lost.
No, you did have a tendency to wander.
Yeah, well, that's why I had you.
Listen, the whole party thing happened.
Yeah, I heard.
I'm Trent Golden Brown now.
Like,
Okay?
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna give him this look like we'll talk later.
You have things that may have happened. We have to lay young Tessa Quinn to rest here.
Oh shit. Tessa's.
She seems
Why,
to have met
why did you
her.
guys bring me back and not her?
She had already moved on by the time we reached Co.
Like a
Month.
bittersweet smile. I guess that kind of suits her, right? Moving on to the next thing. I'll,
Is she your girlfriend?
forgetting the fact that I have one leg, I will climb out of bed and promptly fall
Please
over.
don't fall. Oh, I'm gonna laugh as loud as I can.
You hit the
I'm
deck.
right there. I'm right there.
What happened to your leg, Trent?
Hyperx beasts. Remember those things that,
Oh.
we used to talk about how
God.
scary they are?
You ran into them? That's so cool. Here,
Trent's just got a bloody
I
stump.
looked down at my leg and then looked back at her.
guess you didn't run away from them.
Cool is
Anyway,
not the word to
Do you
describe
need something to lean on? You can use my staff.
I should have crutches somewhere, and I'll look at them. Did you guys grab them, or,
Well, I have one of them. The other was destroyed by what felled you last time.
okay.
Cool group you got here. A lot of guys.
I also have a notebook for you.
Tessa's
Handing
book?
it over to. Yes, it's her enchanted book. And I'm not sure if I'll listen to your commands, but perhaps her story can continue in remembrance and all that.
I'll, just sit there and hold the book closed for a couple minutes and
Sure.
quiet. Then,
I think we need to discuss the means of, well, what brought us to have to come to Co. What that thing was.
I'm
Ooh,
still
what
kind
thing?
of shaky. What happened?
I look around. Is the room completely empty, right?
It is. You can hear monks like way down the hallway, but they're obviously far enough that you don't have to worry about them hearing.
Well, one, we believe some sort of magical or person with great magical power is said to ink lord upon us.
An Ink Lord, huh? Would I know anything? Oh, I don't have it. I have religion of history.
Trent identified it and yelled at its name. We don't know exactly what it comes from or what required of it, because he kind of
Trent?
died before he could explain.
Do you think it was the teacher hunting you that could summon such a thing? It didn't seem to have a person it
You're
was going
hunting, you
after.
huh, Trent?
I'm not
What
sure if
about
it
that
was
one?
Mr. Gel. There's ways of us finding out who it was, but they're beyond my means for now.
There's nothing stopping them doing it again. That is the problem.
Aleutian, since I am a divination wizard, do I know any, outside of Soulsland, do I know any, notable divination wizards that
Oh.
perhaps might be willing to help a noble?
Roll luck, please.
They're right here in Co. Rolling that 20.
No. Ko has no wizarding
But
traditions.
there's divination monks. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it.
13?
13. You know that there are a couple of places in the world where there's like a magical tradition, and the different schools are applied and researched. Down south, there's very little. Up north, there's very little. Soulsland is, of course, the capital. Hillcrest has some notable figures as well. The only other one that's very deep into magic would be the city of Seba down in the desert. They specialize in necromancy, but they do have wizards who study the other schools. So if you had to choose like a best bet place to go, given that Hillcrest and Soulsland are kind of off limits for you guys, Seba's kind of the only other option. Now, any of the other human cities here could, of course, you could get lucky. You could find like a rogue practitioner or, maybe a very skilled wizard who's just kind of there doing whatever. But if you're looking for places where you're almost guaranteed to find that sort of thing, those are your 3 cities. The Wind Ray also has some very important individuals, but you have no idea where the Wind Ray is right now.
I also remember that the Red Watchman, that was like a Tower of Wizards, right?
Yes.
Could I potentially, maybe not find a wizard there who could help, but could I find the knowledge there?
Oh, of course.
Like
yeah,
the spell in like a spell book or something that I could copy down and learn?
Yeah, the wizards were said to have had incredible powers, and the purpose of the Red Watchman was to repel invading armies from the other realms. And to give you an idea of the scope of the wizards, that's all they had there, right? So, like, if an advancing army was coming, this little cabal of wizards was, well, assumed to be powerful enough to actually repel them if need be. So whatever secrets, whatever items and stuff they have in there, those things are probably still locked away.
Well, guys, like I said, I'm not strong enough to do the spells that we need to figure out who's responsible. I mean, we could keep going and just hope that they reveal themselves, but that's putting the game on their terms, and if we want to take the fight to them, which I think is sort of our methodology here, we have a couple of options. We could go down, I guess the first option, which is the one that I'm going to say no to, is we could go to Soulsland. We do have Illyria here. She could help get us in, and I'm, able to go into disguise, but even that would probably be, it's a town full of wizards. They're going to be ready for that sort of thing. And
when this is mentioned, Illyria, you are reminded of how happy your family would be to see you return.
No. I can't go to Soulsland.
Oh, I thought that's sort of your goal.
Two fugitives
No.
from the wizarding town.
I'm not a fugitive.
This keeps getting better.
I can go back anytime. You know what? I can go back anytime. Don't.
Let's see. Well,
Yeah.
when you're ready
Except
to be
now. Give me a
living the
little.
life of a jeweler, let's head back to
Oh
Souls.
no. Okay. You know what? Now that you mention it, let's go somewhere else. Like Soulsland's so boring. We were literally just there in your head. We don't need to go again. Just
It's
there.
only a matter of time
It'd be like
before
doing the same thing.
we get scryed on again. We need a way to prevent that.
So that's one option. The other one is to head down to Seba, which is a town that specializes in necromancy to the south. There's a lot of wizards there, and I could almost guarantee they'll have someone with the divination skills that we require. That's a long journey, though.
Also, almost guarantee that may be where we were attacked from. Considering
Yes, it also
the block
seems
did come from the
likely.
south.
I don't think we want to go towards the attacker.
The last
Well,
Tactical
not
genius.
Not
last-
without more information.
The last
We can-
option, and you guys got to hear me out on this one, it's kind of a risk, is to try and go into the Red Watchman and see if we can't find some scrolls there, maybe a spell book or two that could teach me what I need to know so that I can perform the ritual.
Now, not to say that your options are not the worst things ever, but what happened to the original plan to go to Everwatch, the city? That
Well, Everwatch was
possibly
really
can-
just
Well, we had to find Blackwater, some sort of divination connection in a major city such as that.
This
Could
was
also
all
be
before
fun.
we got attacked. I
Well,
think it changes everything.
we're still looking for someone who can divine where it's either our attacker who may be after us, or in the back of our mind, perhaps where Blackwater, who may be our attacker,
Black
is.
River.
And if that was the plan,
well.
then
I mean,
Everwatch was her original destination.
I mean, Everwatch is still there and it's still an option. But the problem with that, so cool, is that I mean, I've told you guys before that the dwarves aren't known for their hospitality. I know Everwatch, I said, is slightly different and they're welcoming to outsiders, but it's a lot different to be welcoming to an outsider and to, harbor someone who has, scrying spells being casted on them and a powerful necromancer after them.
Well, just hear me out on this. Perhaps Overwatch's defenses, or those people in Overwatch, don't have to know that you're a known fugitive or someone who has dark forces hunting you.
Are you really one cool to hide out and never watch for the rest of your life? We need a solution.
We're not hiding out. It's a major city where we could very well find something that could help us divide what is happening and not go to, one, a city of necromancy. Think about that for a
The
second.
Red Watch
Where our
is an
attacker may
abandoned
be.
tower.
Or the abandoned tower where adventurers go to die, from what I hear.
The abandoned tower does not have a price associated with it. If we have to find a powerful mage to do our bidding, do you think we could even afford that?
Well,
Speaking of prices, I can't find my some of my reagents. Do you think I could hold on to that diamond, Zakul?
this is not one of your reagents. We recovered this from...
Yeah, but it... Okay, I'm just gonna be straight up with you guys. That creature that we all kind of just dealt with, well, you guys dealt with, and I
Not me.
did. He got into my head and messed with some stuff. And I don't have, the same magical capabilities as before. They're different now.
What?
So I'm supposed to trust you now that you've been mind tinkered with?
Well, let's put it like this. You know how I love the spell grease and talk about using it all the time?
Yes, we are
I
aware of the
couldn't
stories.
even start to tell you what the incantation is for it.
Really, Trent? Like, the thing that got us in trouble?
I couldn't tell you the first word. And look, and I open up my spell book. See, look, Illyria, you can sort of read this, right?
Yeah.
This part right here, it's a completely different spell.
And you know how to cast the spell.
I feel like I have been casting it my whole life. Like every time I think back on Greece, this is the spell that pops into my head.
Well,
Trent killing hookers with chromatic orb. Dance, bitch! Sorry, I had
Lightning
to.
just fills the room.
Death is a doozy, Trent. Don't expect your mind to be the same. Doesn't mean you're that different.
speak as if you've met many who've died and come back before.
Have you not? Being in the line of work you are?
I mean, Castle Morgan, we were told, was brought back, what, 5, 6 times?
Who's Castle Morgan?
We'll fill you in. I'll pat the notebook.
I suppose I've heard of the like before, but
In time, perhaps.
it's very rare even for the Church of Bazoon to bring back adventurers. They died on their pilgrimage. They died in the service of Bazoon.
Hmm.
Well,
I mean,
I'll hand over the diamond, but that is not to be gifted to your betrothed back in Hillcrest or any other young lass running around. If I see
Yes,
you
yes.
messing around
Oh,
with that,
yeah, Trent, I heard you have a wife. Huh.
Do I?
I don't know, dude. Everyone's saying you're, engaged or something. It's really weird.
Oh my
I'm like,
god.
nah, that's not the Trent I know.
Trent, roll luck, please.
if you forgot
Oh my God.
you forgot about her, it's gonna bite you in the ass right now if you roll by.
Oh my god, Revolution's amazing. No, I was hoping it was a 1.
If it matters, Illusion, I would prefer forgetting about everything to do with them. So that was a positive luck roll.
Jesus.
So you got some good luck there. You can remember, and I'm going to give you the complete opposite. You can remember the little bit with the noble there, except you can't remember if you've already married her or not.
Okay. Oh yeah, there was that whole thing with the noble, right?
Correct. You're supposed to be
What?
marrying her
What?
sometime in the future.
I
The Mercuns.
did marry her, right?
My friend Trent.
This is
gold.
news to me.
You were my best man, Sybil.
That definitely did not happen.
So cool. I can vividly paint the picture of you walking me down the aisle.
Now, if you elope sometime in the middle of the night without our knowledge, then sure, but
That was why he
can
trusted
assure
us
you-
with the key, because I married his daughter.
Well, I can
I, like,
assure
looked
you
up-
I was not part of
Where
any
now you're just
ceremony.
making things up.
Where's my ring?
We don't
Trent,
have
how'd you
one.
marry Noble and not get a ring out of it?
Can
I,
we
like, grab
go
my-
back to the task at hand? This is not applicable.
Well,
Yeah.
we have to
I-
handle Quinn's funeral rites first, and then where we choose to leave.
I
If you
think
think the Red Watchman is it, then
Does the
willing to
Red
go to
Watchman
your
have
shield.
possibility for protection from this? Because it should be our main priority. If we're
I-
getting sent,
I can't say what the Red Watchman has. All I know is that back in its heyday, they said that the wizards in that tower could hold off an entire army. So whatever happened to kill them all or make them go silent for so long is not something to wander into haphazardly. If Zakul has doubts, or if anyone has doubts,
Well,
this is something that I'm going to say we need to all agree upon before setting out on it.
I think if we were to visit, we should at least prepare. Perhaps not in such a remote mountainside city, but to visit Everwatch. One, because we don't know much about the Red Watchman outside of your book knowledge. And two, we have some obvious injuries here that may hinder our chances of survival. Looking over towards like Zenkes, who's squinting at the wrong direction while he's listening to Trent. Trent here, who's like clearly missing a leg. Wait, did he not get 2 injury rolls for getting knocked down? I wanted to clarify that.
For being knocked down for the one, yes, you would get an injury. But like for being brought back, like your resurrection, no. So like, did you go down twice during that fight, or was it once?
He
Yeah,
went
I
down
rolled a
twice.
nat 20, remember, to get back up.
Oh yeah. Okay, so we'll roll 1 injury check then. The other one is negated by the resurrection.
Big die, big numbers.
I think that's either minor or you're okay. Let me check real quick.
But regardless, as a character, I'm just pointing out that everybody's a little bit beat up. Perhaps we need to do a little bit of recon and maybe check out Everwatch before we go to the Red Watchman.
Trent, your vision has been damaged.
Whoa.
You see
Okay, that
blurry
seems to be a
images.
pretty,
Actually, no, I've given this one out a little bit. We're gonna give you. No. We're gonna give you something different. You have a sore back, and as you lean,
Oh no.
as you like get up from the table and everything, maybe it was the fall off the table into Merton's arms or whatever, but you have kind of like a bit of a crooked posture. Maybe it's your leg acting on you, and your carry weight has been reduced by 20 pounds.
That's tough.
Well, there goes the whole strength boost I took just to get that. Yeah, if we're gonna be traveling, I'm gonna need somebody to carry this, and I'll just hold out like 9 rations.
I'm gonna flex.
Are you beef, Irila?
No.
Or Illyria, sorry. Illyria? Fuck, there's so many eyes.
I'm so. It's 2
There's
eyes.
one eye.
There's 2.
No, but like,
Beginning
you
and
pronounce
the
like
end.
3.
Oh, yeah,
Illyria.
is the Y.
You need to change your name on Discord too, if you don't mind,
You
guys.
should probably. It should be changed.
Well, you can
It is
carry.
changed.
I'll get
I see
eventually.
Tessa still.
I can carry the extra stuff that you get, but we do have some of Tessa's gear, our adventuring gear, to take care of, as well as.
we should also try and find a way to fix the orb.
What orb?
Well, we are unofficially, or officially in Trent's case, the Miraneen and his coven.
Would I know
That
anything
orb?
about this?
Roll straight luck. If you get a 20, you know what it is.
Fun.
It could happen.
Hey, it's
I've seen
happened
it.
before.
Oh,
I
okay,
did it.
19.
Pretty damn close.
19. Oh.
You have no idea.
My favorite was when I was like, "Do I know what this ritual is?" And you're like, "Roll a 20," and I was like, "Okay, 20."
Yeah,
Easy.
You're like,
You
"Shit."
traveling with us.
You're like, "It's the shard of madness," and I was like, "Oh."
You traveling with us, I mean, we may have to deal with this in the future. But for
Yo,
now,
What?
We'll fill you in
Oh
on the
man,
road.
Trent, what did you do?
I think there is a magical item.
I was
that-
chosen.
Dude,
It's
I
Trent.
literally just left Soulsland to get away from my problems, and I run into you. And guess what? There's more.
Well, I mean, like I said, we can take you back to Soulsland if that's what
No.
you want to do.
No.
I'll give her like a very smug smile.
Gotcha, bitch.
I want to look at her and just say, "Wait, your family's. You said you did jewel work, right?
Oh yeah.
Can you
We're a
fix
bunch of
glass?"
Would I fix glass? Question mark DM.
I have to ask, would you have paid attention to any of the things your parents tried to teach you, or just ignored it?
Oh yeah. I'm
Okay.
definitely a studying kid.
So you know
Sure.
about jewelry and everything. You would know that you could melt it back down and recreate glass into something. Thankfully, unlike gems, you know it's a material that you can recycle, basically.
I mean, I could melt it and reform it, but I mean, if it
Well.
had some magical property to it, it'd probably ruin it.
If we found you to some bellows, much like a glassworker's, forge,
I mean, what are you
in some
looking
sort
to-
of dwarven
form?
city, would you be able to do that work? Hint, hint.
What are you looking to create?
An orb, a magical item that was shattered.
I can't guarantee it'll be magic again, but I could probably form you an orb from glass.
Well, if you make it out of the same materials that it originally composed of, perhaps the magic is within still.
It's possible.
Saku is hinting heavily that we should go to everyone. Cough, cough.
Well, here's what I think. Everwatch is southeast,
Mm-hmm.
mostly east.
East.
I think, if we go towards the Watchmen, maybe stay across the river, we could get a view of what's going on there, and then, not be as blind if that's our only source of...
Wait, we
And then
already
we could
saw
hop
it,
on the
didn't
river.
we saw it from here. It was a tower in the distance. Or
Yeah,
did you
but we
mean
didn't-
walk up to it?
I mean, walk up to the other side of the river.
I would say you guys got close enough that you could see very basic details about it. The tower itself is probably about like 5 or 6 stories tall and has a old sort of dilapidated bridge next to it that crosses the river. And you guys would have seen it from like way off.
But, would we get more detail if we were to actually walk to the end of the bridge
Yeah, for sure.
here?
You could see like maybe where its entrances are and stuff like that, or if the bridge is usable, blah blah blah.
If there's, undead walking around
Sure,
outside.
yeah.
Well, if you think it will be so easy to find information out of it just from peering at the outside.
I don't
Sure,
know
but-
if we'll learn anything, but it's better than going completely blind.
Well, I think visiting the town of perhaps
They
paying
might
for
know
information,
something, yes.
Just finding out anything about it from people who live closest to it. Perhaps they've had other adventurers who maybe survived the trip. At least know what's at the entrance.
We could ask around town here and then ask an Everwatch.
I don't think the
Sure.
people here will know, but
Or
Good.
perhaps one of their pilgrimages. That strong monk that brought us here definitely seemed experienced enough. You don't get that way just by meditating silently for years upon years.
perhaps. I think that's worth looking into.
Let's see Tessa off first, and then we
Of
could.
course.
I don't think we're going anywhere tonight. We'll reconvene as dawn falls and or as dusk falls. Dusk is the night one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I do have a question. Would Tessa have any preferences for how she would want to
Probably
be
not.
sent away? She's from below. Like,
Oh,
what's
yeah.
a druidic tradition?
She might, but I don't think you guys ever talked about that on the road.
Okay. Well, okay. What about a religion check for Baloo? What would
Sure.
I know about druids and people?
Yeah, you could
Can I
do
make
that.
Can I make a history check?
You
for Lulu?
odds of a 9.
Absolutely.
Clan.
Oof. Oh, oof.
At 20.
Jesus, you nat 20s, man.
You would know not only what their customs are, but actually how to do them. In your time studying religion with your little cloister there to Azun, you would also learn a little bit about some other practices as far as like comparison goes. To gain a better appreciation for yours, you would learn a little bit about some others, and you can actually perform the rites and everything. I mean, you don't necessarily find the same kind of meaning there that you do with your own god, but you actually know how to do like the whole rite that they'd normally do back in Velu.
And I'm aware of the life god that she worshipped, right? I don't remember what the
Mogbusk.
name. Modbusk?
I haven't tested shit. I think it's Mogbusk.
That's definitely not a life god. That's like the god of
Okay.
chaos.
Oh, that's what the one I told you I was picking. You said, "Oh, cool."
Yeah, chaos is fine, but it's definitely not a life god.
Yeah, then I would.
Okay. I thought she was life domain, like life god
She
or
is.
something. Okay. Alright, well, never mind. I'm just doing the normal druidic tradition. Won't summon a god of chaos.
Okay, so
What?
if that's the case, you know that they bury their dead and plant something over top of them, and in this case, you would normally have somebody druid craft this plant like into being and kind of grow it a little bit there. Unfortunately, you guys don't really have that at your disposal. But at least you know not to leave her body in the hand of the monks, because they probably have their own customs. So if you really want to follow what her town would do, you need to take this body and, you guys go bury it outside kind of thing.
If I take it just outside of Koa, are there like just bushes that or any type of small vegetation?
Yeah, there's little
Sapling or
bits.
something?
It's very sparse, but yeah, you can find bits here and there.
Would I be able to dig out like one of these smaller shrubs or bushes and
You
like
could go and
plant
try.
it over her body in the same way? Okay.
Sure. Do you guys want to go and do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Taking the body, the monks do stop you guys as you're leaving, and when you guys tell them that you're going to bury the body in the traditional sense, they seem to be understanding and just kind of move on. It's interesting, unlike priests who kind of empathize with your loss and everything, these people are pretty like indifferent about the whole thing. Not in like a cold way, but they're just like, okay. And you guys take the body and head off. Stepping out into the large plaza, you leave the town. There's no gates or anything like that, just a little sort of stairway that descends through the mountains. And along that path, where there's like, different holy symbols and shrines and little flags blowing in the wind and everything, you eventually find a spot where there's a shrub and a little stray patch of dirt. And you go ahead and dig that out, take her body, and place it into this little cavity here and cover the thing up. You say the rites and send her soul back to nature where it belongs. And do you guys add anything extra before finishing up the sort of ritual here?
Take a flower off my hat.
Oh, that's right. You have a flower crown, don't you?
Well,
Is that not wilted yet?
I said it early on that I just like pick flowers and put it in my hat. I don't like say it
Oh.
every session, but that would be weird. But yeah,
You remember to pick flowers while dragging your body across the mountainside.
Sure.
it's not too hard.
Roll luck, please. Zakul,
Can
since
I,
you're the one who's laying this thing down.
While the service is going on, can I try and get the notebook to open and record what's going on?
Sure.
No,
That one luck.
Nice.
Jeez. Can I minor illusion like a little? Was it sunlight ray on the grave?
Sure. You make this little light show here with the sort of god ray beaming down on this bush that's now been planted over top of Tessa's body underground. And you guys say a couple of words, and it's cool. You finish up this little procedure, and Trent, you pop open the book. And when you open up the thing, what do you say to it?
Probably step away from everybody so that nobody really hears what I'm about to say. But I would say, I know in the past, Tessa's told you not to listen to me, and I understand why she did that. But for whatever reason, it seems like you and her had some sort of bond, and I won't ask you to record all of my details like you did for her, but it is the end of her story, and I feel as though she would be pleased if you would record how she exits this plane and leaves this world.
Make a persuasion check, please. This is not your book that you're trying to convince here.
It's a 19 persuasion.
There's a pause as you look at the thing, and there's that kind of awkward moment where you live in a world with magic and things like that, and here you are sitting, speaking at a book, and nothing's happening. You're like, God damn it. And then...
I look like such an idiot.
Exactly. Then a spectral little quill appears out of nowhere, and it starts to write and basically describes the little burial that you guys have done. It puts like a little date down and rest in peace, that kind of thing. And then, finishes writing at the end, like the end of Tessa's story, like her last adventure. And then with that, the quill just kind of disappears.
I'll, let the book do its thing and kind of step off and then join the rest of my allies and then pick it up when it's all said and done.
Sure. You guys are gathered around this little grave outside after she's been put to rest.
Alright. So, Soulsland? Or,
Wait, we're not really going back,
Overwatch?
are we?
Everwatch with the intention of going to the Red Watchman, but first, intel is in order. But we're spending a night or two here in Cove. Let's find out about what they may know first before we head south.
They are annoying people, if nothing else.
Well, while we are around town, perhaps we should arrange for another guide through the mountain passes. That definitely was not something we can traverse alone again.
Illyria, can I talk to you for a second?
Sure. You're not gonna make me wait at a dinner table again, are you?
Nah, not this time. Maybe next time.
Mm-hmm.
Say,
What?
You haven't found any, you've been here for a few days, right?
Yeah, I got lost. Didn't really
You haven't
track
found
time.
any, connections here, have you? Anybody who might, have some, spice or anything?
Can I roll?
Wait, what? I didn't catch that.
I think he's talking about drugs.
Did he say spice?
Because spikes, What is this? A crit roll?
This is dude.
I don't know. I just...
Go ahead and
roll
roll
this
luck,
file.
please,
Okay,
Illyria.
I
Be a
serve-
good one.
no, I wanted the 19. It's 14.
The monks here are pretty devoted to their practice, and from what you've seen in your limited time here, there's no casual spice usage that goes on.
Trent, these are devout, holy people.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
I'm
it's
not just
cool.
gonna go and be like, "Hey, you got that stuff?" Like they're gonna be like, "What the hell? Like, they're gonna kick me out."
Well, I mean, we used to do it all the time back in Soulsland, right?
Yeah,
Like
because
late
I'm rich
nights.
and I could just pay poor people to give it to me.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Eh.
Well, you
I
know,
mean, last time I checked, you were too.
what do you mean?
I mean, last time you made a poor person give you drugs too.
I thought we made it. I thought that's what. Don't I have like materials to make it in my bag? I'll like
It's alcohol. We
kind of
didn't
space off.
make stuff like that because I'd be dead if someone found out. Anyway, first question: why the hell is your last name Golden, bro?
I don't know.
Oh, you
Something
don't know?
about
You just picked the last name?
It's his
Yeah,
blonde
well,
eyebrows.
I couldn't go with
Well,
My
I'm not gonna
old
say
name.
your last name because apparently you don't want it heard. So do you know why?
oh we
And
yeah,
what is this,
want it.
Mr. Chow, following you around? What are you? What is that?
The the guy
I
from
heard-
the school.
Yeah, I heard a teacher's like looking through. I didn't think it was Mr. Chow. That
Yeah.
lonely old dude. That's so creepy. He's chasing like a young boy around the freaking place. That's so weird.
Well, I mean, he kind of got that bad rep back at the school, and
What?
he
That
wants
he's
to
lonely,
clear
or
his
he's
name.
chasing like a 20-something-year-old boy across the world?
No, remember his book was like a huge flop.
It's the worst book I've ever read.
You actually read it?
Yeah, it was his saddest life story ever. He's so poor.
Yeah, I kind of destroyed the book.
Oh shit! You didn't give it back?
No, I
Where's
soaked it in
Trent?
some seawater to impress some sailors.
Why would they want a soggy book?
No, because we were making fun of it. I don't know. It made sense. I think we were
Yeah.
high or something.
Oh, okay. So, what's this whole thing? What is this? Why do you have glass shards? Why do you need a ball? Oh, I need an orb, I guess. And,
I'll take
why are you traveling with,
Illyria-
like, a bunch of guys?
Illyria to like somewhere like away from everybody
Sure.
and tell her like our whole story so far.
So as you guys go to wander off, like down the path, this is a cool Zenkus, Merton. What are you guys talking about as these two just kind of wander off?
Two young ones seem to be romancing in the city of Code. Perhaps we should actually be looking for intelligence.
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping to get a moment away from the new girl. I don't know what she's going to make of everything, but we kind of need Trent.
Well, she was willing to jump into the veil to save him, so
She doesn't seem like she'll be a problem. We don't have to tell her everything.
As I'm telling her everything.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Certainly not yet.
well, traveling with us, unfortunately, it's either you find out eventually, or you get buried
She
in
just
the
seems like the kind who won't care.
That'd be great if, like, you looked over and Trent's doing this exaggerated, like, stabbing motion with the daggers.
I'm like holding my obsidian dagger up in the air and like showing her the pieces of the orb, and then like sketching a guy on the ground and showing her where I cut him for the
Yeah.
ritual.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
we don't have to tell her everything. Looks over. Oh no.
Well, Trent knows what we do with loose ends, so
well,
if it's a problem,
hopefully
So-
it's not a loose end.
So Trent told me everything?
We'll get to that in a moment.
Okay, it's like,
Well, first let's ask around with the temples.
having them with us might prevent us getting information anyway. Why don't we run off quickly?
How about we meet by actually let's travel together and find where we're gonna find lodging for the night first. The city, or
You think there's
I'm
lodging in
not
this
quite
city?
feeling. I'm not quite feeling laying on the the floor outside, if possible. Perhaps these temples
Sure.
allow people to rest their heads indoors at least.
I'm sure
So,
a temple
if we
houses.
see, if we walk around, is there like a monk we can talk to nearby? Any of these disciples?
Sure. So you go ahead and give Illyria the spark notes of your group's shenanigans. Trent, is there anything that you leave out, given the wide-ranging scope of everything you guys have been up to?
I'd probably gloss over. Okay, first of all, I would not tell her about the benevolence killing.
Okay, sure. That's one thing. Yep.
Pretty good.
So I would
Yep,
leave
a
that
good place
out.
to start.
The fact that, this girl who we told about what was going on, and then she wasn't quite into it, we just killed her. So if Tessa's not, if Illyria's not quite into it, we can still go that route.
Right.
Don't want to tip her off.
Just
too
have
early.
a tumble down the mountain by accident.
I would probably not make the Castle Morgan thing out to be as big of a deal as it was.
Okay.
Like, I would tell her there was this old guard captain in town who had wronged a bunch of people
Sure.
and was still living large in town, and we had to plot his demise.
Okay, how would you describe the death cult or Deso and whatnot?
I would tell her that a avatar of a deity appeared in that Undercroft when we were down there, and after speaking with him, he's given us contracts to perform, and in exchange for helping send these souls off, he has agreed to help me get the power that I need to defend myself when Mr. Chow comes.
Okay.
So, not sugarcoating it, because it's still pretty heavy shit, but, also not being we murder people and send their souls to hell so that I can get stronger.
So, Illyria, it seems like Trent has gotten into almost like a divine mercenary gig of sorts, where he's sent out to kill bad people, if that guard captain thing is anything to be believed. In exchange for killing these bad people, he's going to be granted powers to defeat or fend off Mr. Chow. What would be your opinion on that? What would you tell Trent? How would you guys kind of reconcile that?
So you're telling me some, floaty dead dude told you to do something?
No, he wasn't really floaty dead dude. We had this other ally. It's kind of like an edgelord, the type.
Oh, yeah, that one creepy kid who sat in the corner of the class.
Always dressed in all black and wouldn't talk to
always said,
anybody.
"Oh, no one understands my pain." Yeah, I know that one. Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, well, we were traveling with some guy like that for a little while.
Oh, dude.
And we warned him not to talk to Deso, and then he went in
but
after we warned him not to, and Deso kind of took over his body.
Oh, shit. Okay. Well, if anything I learned in class is that every time someone said no to some whatever deity told them to do something, they died. So good job. You're not dead. Cool. I zoned out, real talk, I zoned out for most of your thing. I'm so sorry, but, we'll be good. I'm normally pretty okay about everything.
Just we've done shit before where I ask you not to talk about shit. So just
Yeah, I just won't talk about it.
just don't talk about it.
And I didn't hear it.
Yeah, and when the guys ask, just be like, Trent went over everything with me, and it's cool.
At this point, the three approach, and you guys walk up ready to grab Trent and Illyria to go into town and get this thing sorted out.
Hey guys, just wrapped up. Kind of pat Illyria on the shoulder.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
We're all good, right, Illyria?
Mm-hmm.
See? She's cool.
Illyria, where have you been laying your belongings or resting at night here in Cove?
Oh, I just sleep in the temple. I don't...
Hmm?
Well, to be
Yeah.
honest, I kind of pretend that I'm sick, so they just give me one of the beds.
I don't think that's gonna fly. I mean, right.
What time of day is it?
You guys don't know what day it is.
No, what time of day is it?
It is the middle of the afternoon. The sun is up high.
You guys want to just get on the road? Try and find one of those guides?
We were looking to get some possible information about Red Watchmen here. Monks seem to be knowledgeable on a variety of subjects.
Sure. Why don't
The
we
guide,
split up
guide
then?
will be for when we leave. What?
We'll split up and cover more ground that way, talking to some of these monks. I'll go with Merton, and
You want to go to a few separate temples?
yeah, we can
There's
hit a
a lot
couple
of
of temples.
temples.
See who we can. Does that sound good to everybody?
Sure. I will.
Maybe
attempt to-
Zenkas, you can see about, or sorry, Zakul, you can see about supplying us for the journey. Like, see if you can't get some more rations and whatnot.
Of course, I can arrange for that. Then one of you should try to look out for Master Ron. He-
So, you know the diamond that you gave me? If you see one that's like a tenth of the size, like, you could totally grab that, and then I don't have to carry this big one around anymore.
I'll
Does that
give
make
a shot.
sense?
Certainly.
I'll describe to
Certainly,
him
sir.
the size of a diamond that I need.
Sure.
Roughly 80 gold in value.
50 gold.
50 gold in value? Okay.
All right. Well, I'll head off with Merton then, just because I want to talk to him also real quick. But
Remember,
meet
look
back
for...
up here around nightfall.
Sure. At this temple, then.
Or, if we finish early, whenever everybody's done.
We kind of stick out. I'm sure it will be easy enough to find each other again.
Make sure one of you look for, or at least attempt to look for Master Rom. He was the one that brought us into the city itself. At the very least, he could be a guide again, or he might know
I'd hate
something
to
about
ask
the Red
him to
Watchman.
take us again just for him to come back. Unless he... I hate asking these monks to do things for us. They're very peaceful on their own.
If he's unwilling to go on yet another pilgrimage after returning so soon, then maybe he knows something about the Red Watchman. He seemed experienced.
I think after leading us here, we would be able to find our way back. Information should be the priority.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
You guys split into a few different groups. Trent, you're going with whom?
Merton.
Merton. And you two are getting info. Zakul, you're going to get supplies. Zenkas and Illyria, what are you guys doing?
Well, Leo probably zoned out for that entire thing.
Okay, you're staring at a wall.
Yeah.
And Zenkas?
I'll go with the cool.
Okay.
And while we're walking around, I want to see if I see any thieves' cant written around.
Sure.
Because, there still might be a chance of it.
For Trent and Merton, you guys go to speak with the different temples and hope to get some information about the Red Watchman. Given its proximity, I can guarantee that the monks will tell you something, but the extent of what you get from them will depend not on your ability to persuade them, given how the monks operate by a weird sort of code, but simply by what they know. So I'll have each of you roll a luck roll.
I also wanted to talk to Merton
Sure.
at some point.
Oh,
Oh, that's pretty good.
Oh my god!
Whoa!
oh, they know a lot. They know a
Hey,
lot.
baby.
Hey there, what's up, friend?
Another reason why Will and I are the same person.
Given the proximity of the Red Watchman and its danger in the area, all the pilgrimages that happen around here have to be, weary of this thing. In fact, you learn that the mountain range of Lord Bane Cabal has these little caves in it, just like all the other mountains. But people are told to never use the bridge there. Whether or not it's still usable, the monks believe that it can still be used and is probably in fine condition. But the Red Watchman itself is a heavily haunted place, and you learn a little bit of story about the thing. One of the elders, who seems to be a little bit more of this world, kind of a down-to-earth and sort of connected person instead of being more off in his own thoughts. He describes to you a story where long, long ago, Seba and Aurelium were supposedly united against the northern towns. And although Soulsland would never get officially involved, some wizards left the tower and decided to take up the task of defending those northern lands upon themselves. And so this rogue group of red mages decided to go, and they actually built this tower with magic and set up there to try and defend the northern realms. And it's not known exactly what happened over time, but at some point the tower stopped responding, and people who would go there, messengers that would travel there, never came back. And now the place has fallen into mystery. Occasionally an adventuring group will set out to try and discover what has happened, but they don't come back. And even travelers, passers-by, who go by the tower just don't return. The most common myth is that there are the spirits and ghosts of those wizards still locked in the tower, but it's actually not known, and that could end up being completely false. Nobody actually knows what's happened in the tower since then. So, that's what you learn. You know that you can get close to the tower, and people who pass by the area, sometimes make it out, but other times when people go by, they just don't return.
So there's no hope in meeting someone who's been there because no one ever comes back.
So that's what you two learn. The monks are instructed to never go around the thing. They don't bother. They obviously have their own motives for going to the different caves and everything. Now, as for the others, Zakul and Zencast, I want you two to roll luck as well, please. You're going to get supplies, and the monks don't need to be persuaded. They'll help you, as giving as they are, but only if they have food to give you.
Luck rolls have been terrible.
You guys try a couple of the different temples, and most of them simply tell you that there is no food to go around. A lot of the people here, as evidenced by sort of how skinny they are and whatnot, simply tell you that there is nothing. By the end of it, you guys return to the group with 5 rations, which are given to you for free from the monks. But that's all. So it's late at night, the sun is setting off in the distance, and you guys re-adjourn here at this large central plaza, having learned a bit, and also having gotten some supplies. Maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less than what, you different guys were hoping to get, but at least a leg up by the end of the day.
Lyria, have you just been standing here staring at this wall for the past few hours?
Oh, dude, you don't just snap someone at it like that, man. You gotta ease into it.
Perhaps you
Oh
should
my
play
God.
a multiply and slowly increase the volume until you...
Anyway, what'd you ask me?
Are you okay?
Yeah, why? It's only been a couple minutes, right?
It's been a few hours.
Oh, yeah, okay. Not dead, so we're good.
Yeah.
I would have wanted to have a word with Trent before we came back.
Oh yeah, sure. Do that before we continue here. Sorry, I forgot about that.
I was actually typing a message to Will and you, Pollution. At some point, Trent would, pull Merton aside
Sure.
while we're walking between temples, maybe. First of all, I would fill Merton in, just for the sake of time. I'd fill Merton in on all that I told Illyria, the couple discrepancies between what actually happened and what I told her.
Sure.
I'd also, warn him about her spaciness and that, we're gonna have to be vigilant. I trust her, but
I have developed a lip zipper system with her already.
Also, I would try and think back at any notable places in my memory where things have been messed with. I'll things that I can, the grease spell, and for whatever reason I don't seem to be able to use prestidigitation anymore. uh, general things like that that have changed in my head.
Sure. Make a history roll, please. Merton will be able to set the record straight, but you'll have to remember the different things to ask.
22.
Okay. In this talk, you go over some of the few events and sort of paraphrase what's gone on since your group met and everything. And Merton, on probably about 3 different events, Trent describes to you something similar, but like definitely different than what actually happened, and you correct him on it.
Is it being someone who's lost their memories, is it similar to undead losing their memories, or is it different?
No, Trent seems to actually have a lot of his with just minor details, or maybe not minor details, but with certain details out of alignment. Yours is just like huge empty gaps of just like basically almost everything missing. Yours is almost like a feeling more than it is an event. Like you don't even necessarily remember exactly, what your wife looks like or anything like that, right? Just like, I remember
Right.
being in a relationship sort of thing,
Well, Trent, I don't know why your memories are like that. Something to do with that creature that you saw. I think whatever
Yeah.
secrets there lie within that creature is, but I have never seen such a thing.
I also wanted to, I'm going to talk with Zenkus and Sakul too, but
There are some.
feel like I owe you guys an apology. I didn't really participate at all in that last fight, and I feel like looking back, I haven't really participated much at all. And I know there's the talk of you guys being my coven or whatever, and Deso was, but I don't view you guys that way, and I'm gonna be more active and helpful.
Some people are fighters, some people are thinkers. You can be both. That's good too. Speaking of, well, I suppose your recent death has brought back my meaning a little bit, made me think. You don't know why we became friends, do you? Back on
We were
that,
traveling on the cart together, and then there was some stuff. Maybe?
Yeah, I haven't quite told you guys my motivation. I've been keeping it to myself, but I think you need to know, and especially having you die would have been a problem for me. I didn't want to say this and take away from our friendship, because I value you, come to value as a friend, but that wasn't the reason I initiated. And I think you need to know. We've
Okay.
talked briefly about the House Thundercock, you remember?
Do I remember the House Thundercock illusion?
You do, and you remember having, Merton kind of sort of bringing it up once or twice, just in passing, but you never thought it was really anything significant.
Yeah, back when I would tell you stories about the Mage Tower and schooling and stuff with that asshole. Yeah, I kind of remember it.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that you don't like their family. That makes this easier. But there's probably a lot you don't know. They are an evil family. And one in particular, is my goal and my motivation and reasoning. And I heard you talking about them that fateful day, which is why I approached you. For reasons I may tell you one day. I am hunting Chad Thundercock.
Do I know anything about Chad Thundercock illusion?
Go ahead and roll luck to see how your memory is doing.
Oh, that's a nat 20.
You went to school with Chad Thundercock, though he was multiple years your senior, and he eventually moved back to Hillcrest, where his family is actually based out of. He just went to school in Solsland, and so that's where your interactions with him would have come from. You know that he's wealthy. You know he is from a noble house, and that's about it.
Yeah, he, now that you mentioned his first name, I think that's actually the one that went to school with me. He was only there for a little while, but, last I heard, he was moving back home to Hillcrest.
So he's in Hillcrest. That is good to know. If you... All you have to
that
know...
guy was not cool, so I'm totally down with, if he's a bad guy, and we gotta go,
Yes,
I can get us into the city now. Like, I think my wife
path.
will let us in.
Maybe. Well, my path is one of vengeance. If you have questions further, I may be able to answer. I think I only bring it up now because I can't think of another explanation for that attack on us. The
You think
reason
it was Chad?
is, I think it's possible. I don't think it was your teacher. I don't think it was Black River. And unless someone else in our group is keeping secrets like me, then it could be them, but
I'd put an arm around Merton at this point
Sure.
and say, I will admit that I'm a bit curious, and I think that's who I am at heart. But you've been nothing but a sincere ally and friend to me, and mentor in many ways. So if you have beef with this man, then I have beef with this man, and I don't need to hear any sort of reasoning or rationale behind it. I will.
well, you do to understand, because he wiped out my family, and I think he thought I was included in that. And perhaps now he knows that I still live. That could be a reason why he's coming back. So I'm probably going to tell the others at some point as well that we may have yet another enemy, so that you're not... It wouldn't have been pertinent information if he didn't know I was still alive, but now that he might, it's very important.
Well, like I said, I'll go to war with you. So, you say the word in butterscotch, right?
Butterscotch.
What does butterscotch mean again?
Oh, that's generally when things hit the fan.
It's strange. I
It'll
have
come
all
back
of
to
these
you.
memories of things, especially around the time our group got together, and there's just voids here and there.
I know the feeling.
Anywho, we should probably get back to everybody and tell them what we learned. I mean, if nobody has come back from there, I don't know if we're going to find anything else out by going to Everwatch.
What we learned is that there is nothing to learn because no one lives. Yes.
Is it
that's-
even worth the risk at this point? I feel like I know we're scared of like the necromancers. There's so much, hoopla about the word necromancer, but it's a functioning city. There has to be some sort of... They can't just be killing people in the streets, right?
What city are you talking about?
Down in Seba.
Seba. Oh. I think if that's where we think whoever attacked us is, going closer to... I mean, just what the single soldier he sent nearly dispatched all of us. I don't want to go closer until we find out what we're up against. Magics. Is there a way to cast that spell on whatever cast it on us? Is there a way to shield ourselves from that?
I know there's spells and trinkets we could procure that are enchanted to shield us from that, but I did, have that glimpse when I was reaching into the spell, and if I could convince the book to let me see that drawing again and focus in on that being, it might be enough to cast a scry towards him and find out more concrete details about who it is. But that spell is beyond my current capabilities, so unless I find either a scroll or a book that'll give me the knowledge I need, we're gonna have to find another spellcaster. And looking in Everwatch is a coin flip if we'll even find anybody who can use magic like that there. I'm sure there's someone like that in Seba, but like you said, it's a risk going there. And the Red Watchman could give me the scroll or book to teach myself.
The Red Watchman is the closest. It is...
Are you guys walking back towards the group right now?
Yeah, probably headed back to after all the stuff is done.
Okay. You guys are probably close enough to see them like down in the plaza and stuff as you're approaching here.
All right, let's go fill them in.
Sure.
Zakul,
Welcome back, you two.
how did the supply run go?
Well, the temples unfortunately don't seem to have any sort of store. So in terms of rations, they're pretty meager on food supplies themselves. We were able to get a few gifts, but nothing significant. We'll need to go to a bigger city.
All the information we got about the Red Watchman was that there's no one to truly give us information about what lies inside, because anyone who goes does not come back.
I raise a single eyebrow. Perhaps that's not where we need to go at the moment, considering our current shape.
I mean, given what we overcame, well, you guys overcame with that creature, I think the longer we spend on the road, the more at risk we are. I mean, imagine if 2 of those showed up. I don't know the full ritual to summon those things or how much effort went into sending 1 at us, but if if 2 were even sent, I don't know.
Speaking of, this might help you. I'll give them spell components. I assume that's what they were, that dropped from the thing after the fight.
Ah.
Was
Have I ever seen this black metal before?
Looking
twig,
at the
a metallic
items.
bar, box of incense sticks, and a removed eye of some creature.
Yeah.
Telebar.
Make a Arcana check, please, as you look at these.
Okay, do it too. You're a mage, no?
Oh, Arcana.
Oh, he
21.
rolled okay. I just thought he was gonna roll terribly.
Oh, okay. That's a roll.
My rolls started really bad at the beginning of the night, and they've been steadily rising up to the end of the session here.
When it comes to magic, not only do you find that the material components for spells tend to be related to what you're casting, maybe a piece of string or a bit of chain to hold somebody in place, that kind of thing. Summoning spells, too, tend to follow a similar route, and whatever it is that you're calling into the world often has to be brought in using some kind of object related to its being. As you look here, you are lost as to what exactly this spell might be. The items are varied, and there's quite a few of them. However, you do know what some of these are commonly used for. The nightshade, of course, being used commonly for poison. You also recognize the incense is commonly used for either healing or ethereal beings, that kind of thing. The twigs here that you have, it was like a small black bar of metal. Was it?
A twig, a metallic black bar of metal, a
Yep.
box of incense sticks, removed eye of some creature.
The black metal that you have there eludes you. You're not entirely sure what it is that you're looking at. The eye, however, upon closer inspection, is most certainly not human or any normal creature, and after looking at it and remembering what you've seen in manuscripts and whatnot, you know that this is a demon's eye.
Sorry, I coughed really loud. What kind of eye is it?
A
Demon.
demon's eye.
Okay.
Would you like to hold on to those?
Yeah, well, if we do get the rest of what I need, these will assumingly be from the person who cast it, which could make the spell easier or harder for him to avoid.
Why don't you have them then?
So it's the black metal, the twigs, and the eye.
Incense sticks. 4 things.
Yeah, the twigs are the nightshade.
Yeah, I think I got a general description because I don't know what they were, but
Mhm.
I think you know what they were, so more specific.
And I don't know what the dark metal is.
The dark metal eludes you. It's clearly metallic as you touch it. It feels like very solid and everything, but it's quite dark, unlike anything else you've ever seen.
Does your pearl know what it is?
Ooh.
I'll identify the dark metal, see if it's magical.
Sure. The metal returns to you as not being a metal of any sort of specific kind. It is distilled of evil. Somebody has poured like a darkness and used metal as a medium to hold it, similar to how a gem might contain a soul, or a ring might contain a spell. Somebody has taken a bar of metal. Its original type is unknown. Maybe it was gold, maybe platinum, maybe steel, who knows, and just poured evil into it. You have
So
no
this is
idea.
like some powerful ass necromancy.
Liquid evil.
Yeah, somebody has poured evil into this bar of metal, and you don't know how it's done, but that's what the identify spell returns to you.
This is powerful magic here. I mean, whoever sent this against us put a lot of effort into that summoning. And
All the items look like things that you could pretty much like buy somewhere. Even the demon eye, potentially from like the right kind of shop. Probably a pretty shady one, maybe not one on this plane, but you could buy this, right? The bar looks like something that would have to be made, and is most likely the most difficult item to procure out of the lot.
we probably should not let anybody know that we have this, as I like stow it away in my bag. This
So
I
we don't
don't
talk
know
about it ever?
exactly. So you
Assume
touching on
that
it.
if we don't say anything, that we can talk about it. Don't talk about it.
Illyria straight up zoned out the entire thing, so she wouldn't even know what they're talking about.
Nice.
Oh, that's good. We don't have to worry about her ever remembering anything because she doesn't listen in the first place.
Unless you specifically say her
troublesome
name in
later.
it, she'll never like listen.
So about our goal, I know you seem pretty keen on going to Everwatch.
Well, I'm going to point out that being attacked by something that has a 40% mortality rate is far better than 100% mortality. That you guys have just found out no one returns from there.
That was a fight with
Ever.
one of them. If one of those creatures could summon two,
Well, I'm pointing out there are alternate ways of finding out what may be after us. Everwatch being somewhere where wizards, possibly divination wizards, may be residing. Or perhaps there are informants there, some network of spies or dwarves that seem to be in the know, other paragons of their skills or guilds. We don't have to go headlong into the most dangerous place possible in a desperate attempt to redeem whatever vulnerabilities you're feeling about being downed in battle.
Now, as you guys are leaving here, you've grouped up, you've gotten some supplies and stuff, you're going down the road and deciding, like, where on earth it is that you guys are going to go, right? And I would like to mention that there are a couple of other things that you know of for possible options. One of which is the city of Inanbar, also known as the City of Thieves, which is home, of course, to many like exiles and refugees from across the land. So that could potentially be a place to find somebody like that, though unlike Sebo, which is like a done deal, that is left up to chance. Another one through a similar vein is the city of Ilos, which has all the temples of the world, not like these ones devoted to like a martial and monastic sort of sense, but the different gods all each have their own temple there. So you might be able to find a god who would be like the god of magic, perhaps, and maybe those disciples would know something. So there are other options. There is, of course, Velu as well, which has its druidic practice, but you might get lucky, and Everwatch over here. So you guys do have some options. And there is, of course, the Red Watchman.
If it is information simply we seek, we know I have ways under the table to find things of that nature. Is
I'm
Everwatch home to something like that?
I mean, it is a major city that's lasted for centuries, right? At the
Well,
very
I
least,
mean,
it is.
every city is home to something like that, but is there anything known there?
Have you or Zenkest notice anything like that here in Ko?
This is the last place there's going to be anything like that.
Yeah.
But I will give a curious glance, but there's
I mean, Zenkest was looking around while we were going back, but I don't
doesn't
think
seem
Illusion.
like the place.
Now, given the time here, you guys wander around and plan the next leg of your journey. And we will end the session here with Trent having been resurrected successfully and a new party member having joined as well.
Woo!
I know that
I like
Kay
this
has to
one.
kind of dip around 8:30 and whatnot, so I don't want to get too...
No, I have no time limits on Mondays for till beginning of September.
Oh shit, my bad. I would have let that run a little bit longer then, but we'll cut it here. You guys have some deciding to do anyway. And yeah, we'll catch you guys on the next one. Congrats to the players, though. You managed to bring Jimmy back. His mind is
dead.
mostly intact.
Not dead. Again. Oh god.
I'm looking forward to doing some table talk here in a moment.
Yeah.
Dude, real talk, I thought that weird
'Cause
spider
I don't
thing
wanna
was
spend, like,
actually
the-
Trent's subconscious, and if we killed it, we killed Trent. So I was like, oh.
Yeah, definitely a weird thing there. Maybe you guys will see it again or learn more
I
about
hope
it
the
sometime.
fucking God not. What?
Who knows?
Mr. Chow is trying to steal my memories so he can find out where his book is.
Exactly.
Stupid
The
fuck.
ocean! Aya!
I still have the soiled book in my inventory.
It's just all crinkled and like swollen because of the pages.
Ugh.
Salt water, yeah.
So, congrats to the players. Well done. To the audience, good to have you. And patrons, couldn't do it without you. We'll see you on the next one. Tuesday group is in a Wanti jungle about to die,
Ooh.
so come in tomorrow to see more of that. Adios, boys.
Yes, please.
Yeah, tell them to go fight some kind of ink lord that does 48 damage per hit. Thanks.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
That one hurt me a little bit.
They have their
Wait,
own
wait.
troubles.
Are we
Suck
waiting
it,
until the
Monday,
stream's
it's all
cut
hurt.
before we do any table talk, or?
Oh, we can
Yeah,
kill stream
I-
here.
what
Peace
is
out,
this table
Stream
talk?
Marooney.
Goodbye.
I want to decide